Right.
And women.
And women, yeah, especially.
Ugh.
Well, there was already women.
Okay. Well, good afternoon, folks, and welcome to Smudcast number 579. Why the bad female leader is everywhere on screen. And in case you haven't figured it out, it's from The Take. We've covered The Take several times now. It's this glossy version of politically correctness with a big honkin' dollop of femininity or feminism or some kind of womenism. And we just try to dissect it because it's so ridiculous at times that we can't help ourselves. And this just came out last month. Show.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's not. I don't know. Are they aware of any of the shows the past 2 months that have come out that have women leads?
No.
That's not like the criteria I look for a show in. Like I want to see women fail. That's life.
I just have to look out my window to see women fail.
Exactly.
It's kind of
It's
funny.
right
'Cause
out the window.
I could see the tags they put onto their keywords they put onto this video, and we've got Daenerys Targaryen, Cersei Lannister, Claire Underwood, Rebecca the One,
This is all evil.
Queen Elizabeth, Hillary Clinton, Elizabeth Holmes. I don't know.
Wait, hold on. When
Whoa.
was Hillary Clinton ever a leader? When was she ever a leader? She was never a leader. She was the runner-up twice.
Yeah, it's like Angela.
Well, she's had a lot of evil effect on the world,
Sophia
regardless.
Amoruso, Steph Curry, Sheryl Sandberg, Audrey Gelman. Like all these names are like, okay, are these like, is this fictional? Are we talking about?
Some of these names I don't know, but I think they're mistaking bad with, they're conflating bad with evil.
Yeah, well, obviously this is to get people attracted to their video. The video is not even past 80,000 views.
Can I just say something? They put Queen Elizabeth in there. Is this the first one or the second one? Because there was two.
Exactly.
There was no number two. It was just Queen Elizabeth. Yeah.
and both of them are pretty much, said to be good leaders in our history. So how are they a bad female leader? I don't know.
Maybe they'll make
Because
the comparison.
they're American and they hate the Britain still.
Really?
For historical reasons.
Don't the Irish hate?
No.
Everyone hates the French.
Didn't the Irish hate Queen Elizabeth? Or am I just
Which one? No, it's got
the one that died recently?
the one that died. Is it Queen Elizabeth II?
Yes.
Right. The thing is, with Scotland, it's the Catholics who don't like Queen Elizabeth II.
Okay.
It's all down to religion. Why? Because if you go back to our history, even now, if you're Catholic, you cannot become the King or Queen of England. It's in law. You have to be Protestant because you're the head of the Protestant Church.
Yeah, Henry VIII.
Yeah.
Yeah, but also in England, can't you just like steal the crown and like put it on your head and like, oh, I'm the king now?
No.
Oh, they got rid of that? Okay,
It's
good.
not the minions.
No,
What about the sword thing?
that never
The
happened.
sword.
Actually, you know what? One guy actually did steal the crown, and he got an arrow in the eye.
Ooh.
Not even in the eye, not the knee.
And that's how the Normans conquered us. So, yeah.
All right. Well, this video did come out last week, as I said. It has less than 80,000. It has a 3.1 thousand upvotes and 1.5 thousand downvotes. So it's kind of in the 60%-ish range for being popular or good or bad. I'm sure a lot of people in the comments are going to say, like, this is a good video, this is a horrible video, and yada, yada. But it's only 14 minutes and a half, so it shouldn't take us too long to go through. And I bet you it's going to be a mess. All these names, all these fictional stories.
Yeah, trying to cover that many names in 14 minutes. Yeah, good luck.
Just a question. Obviously, the Take is American, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right. No, because
Yeah,
I'm certain I saw, obviously, when the video was loading up, and everything like that. I'm sure I saw Maggie Thatcher there, and I'm going to be very interested with that.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
But she was conservative, so she was bad in their eyes.
Oh, she's bad. Oh, that's right. They're gonna mention women who are bad in real life.
Oh my god, this is also before. Wait, was it last week this was uploaded? When did Liz Truss become Prime Minister?
Oh yeah,
I think,
a few weeks ago. Yeah, you're right. Last week or 2 weeks ago.
So she can be bad because remember, only the terrible white supremacist male patriarchal right-wing conservatives have ever had a woman leader.
Right, and plus we have the Italian female leader. What the heck's her name is? She just won.
Tifa?
Yeah. But over in the UK, we've had 3 female prime ministers, and all of them have been conservative.
Right.
Also, the Labour Party, the left-wing party, has never had a leader that wasn't a white straight male.
I wonder
It's
why.
amazing. Also, the leader of the current Conservative Party, who's all for like the lower class, was knighted by the Queen. he's literally a sir.
That's
and also a multi-millionaire.
All right.
And also, he was also the lawyer that defended Jimmy Savile, who was the notorious child sex abuser for the BBC. So everyone forgets.
Okay.
And he got knighted for his work in the justice system. I'm like, great.
All right. Here is major misogyny. Thank you for the one. The Irish hate Queen Elizabeth, and you know why? They hate the French because the French are a bunch of queers. And also, historically speaking, female leaders are statistically more likely to go to war and engage in conflict from ratio alone. Okay.
I mean, let's be honest. The French were the original queers.
Well, let's put it this way: Queen Victoria pretty much invaded all of India and took it over so that she could become empress, just because her granddaughter married the Russian king and became empress of Russia, and she didn't want to be seen as lesser. So yeah, women start wars for really petty shit.
Okay.
That was actually for jealousy.
Yeah. She
Not
became
for
empress
resources or glory, or she just
No,
jealousy.
because she wanted to become an empress. Yeah.
Oh God.
Okay. Well, let's see what the two ladies from the
Yeah,
tech have to say about fictional women.
Fucking Indians.
And then jump into whatever
I'll
political
take
nonsense.
over your curry.
Remember. I think the last time we watched this channel, they were making excuses for all the psychopath women and how poor they have it, how hard they have it, and that we need to have pity on them or whatever.
This is not gonna be any different.
Okay. All right. Let's go.
Yeah.
Why is Hollywood so against women being in charge?
God never intended a woman.
No.
You fucking feminist bint flaps.
No, it's not, because that's all we get.
These women are there because you wanted them there. You wanted strong women on screen all the time that you look up to, and you love these characters. You adore these characters because you adore psychopaths that just do what they want, get away with it, because you want to be like that.
Well,
we know that. We've seen your previous videos.
With this example on screen, that's, I think, Robin writes, and she's the lead of the show House of Cards because Kevin Spacey got kicked for obvious reasons. So, I mean...
Kevin Spacey touched people.
Yeah, so it's
just like in the show.
This has nothing to do with, hey, the writers are going to do this. It's like, oh, wait, real life got in the way. How do we work with this? Okay, boot this dude. Keep the show afloat.
The thing is, and this is why I don't understand, these people are writing these characters like this, and they think that these characters are good. It's like they don't write these characters as bad guys. They write them as the perfect heroes. It's just the fact that when you start seeing it, a rational mind goes, no, these are pretty bad people and bad leaders. It's like Ryan Johnson created Holdo and thought she was a perfect leader, when in reality, if you ever met that person, it'd be like, wow, this is like you literally murdered thousands of your own troops. And it's like, wow, this is a terrible leader. It's like, Other leaders and like things. It's, oh, Jesus Christ! It's
Well, her entire plan hinges on the fact that the villains aren't doing a stealth scan, whatever the frickin' hell those things are.
Yeah, well, it's like
or they don't look out a window.
It's like all these women. It's like Daenerys from Game of Thrones. It's like, oh, she's a bad leader because the writers wrote it for her to be bad because it was really. They're just really bad at writing. It's like she was perfectly fine, and then they decided to go that really weird way, but they don't think that she was really that. Do you know what I mean? It's like
they forgot to write the arc where she slowly goes insane.
It's kind of like having a winning restaurant, and you just say, "Okay, we're going to do this cookbook," and then we go, "Great. Okay, next month we're going to do that cookbook," and they keep going, and they run out of recipes, and they go, "Okay, we know how to cook, right? We've been cooking for 8 years. We can just make our own cookbook," and they try, and they go, "Wait, we have no idea how to write a cookbook. What do we do?"
Let's just take what's in the garbage can and reheat it.
Yeah, I just. It's like opening a restaurant and saying, "Here's our head chef, Jeffrey Dahmer," and it's like, how can this go wrong? Oh, by the way, I've been watching that new Netflix one about Jeffrey Dahmer. It's terrible.
Oh.
It is single-handedly the most boring thing I've ever watched in my entire life.
Well, it's getting some flack too, apparently.
Oh, the thing is,
in real life, it's getting some flack because it glorifies Dahmer and it.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
Well, I'm just saying this is what I've heard. You know, it's like
I know.
glorifying Dahmer, and it's like not talking about the victims.
Well, because there's not much to talk about the victims. As in, it's a story of how he's evil. It's like, okay, that's fine. It's people are going like, oh, it's really difficult to watch because it's really disgusting. I watched it. It feels like a very PG American horror story.
If you put the victims on screen too much, that's more exploitative towards them.
Yeah, exactly.
Than anything. And what it does get flack from, surprisingly enough, to no one really, is from the psychopathic gay wing of the rainbow shit.
Oh,
because
yeah.
They don't like to be associated with a psychopath serial murder who's gay, because that reflects bad on them, because that's what a lot of them are.
Hold on, Whisp. This is something that me and my girlfriend noticed, obviously, when we were watching it and we saw what people were talking about. Why is it that the gay community and the LGBT stuff were really against Jeffrey Dahmer being promoted as an LGBT content and everything like that? But Pennywise the Clown, they really want to be a gay icon. And my girlfriend said it perfectly. Goes, yeah, but Pennywise the Clown only fucks with kids.
Weren't some of Dahmer's victims also 14?
One of them was 14. And he gave him a lobotomy. That was interesting. The show made it really boring because he just closes the door and you hear a drill. I'm like, oh, right, okay.
But didn't Pennywise kill like a gay couple in one of the movies?
Yeah, based. But yeah. Anyway, it's just a Netflix thing. It just came up, and it's just you're gonna be very disappointed if you watch it because you just watch a normal documentary, you'll get the same stuff out of it.
Probably.
But the actor who plays Dahmer is like probably the only interesting thing. What was his name? Evan Peters. He's actually kind of good. So,
well, if you can't get access to that, always check out the original comic book, My Friend Dahmer. It's pretty good as far as comic books go. So, anyway,
on to more interesting things about bad female leaders.
And to rule this land. She is the Antichrist.
In recent years, TV and movies have focused a lot on the figure of the failed or bad female ruler. From making Daenerys the ultimate villain of Game of Thrones to centering dramatizations of real-life cautionary tales like Elizabeth Holmes, popular stories tend to paint women leaders as either too idealistic and emotional, ruthless, conniving Lady Macbeth types, or self-serving, hypocritical girl bosses who tout their gender as a reason to trust them, but turn...
That's you! You wanted that! And half your videos, if not more, are just that. That's just you. You just don't like to be called out, and now because I think that's what's happening here. They realize they can't fly this whole shtick for much longer, that the pendulum is swinging, the tide is turning, and now they're trying to pretend they were always on the sane side of things, and that all the stuff that they advocated for these past years, they're actually against.
Yeah,
they're for sane things.
The
you
social
fucking frauds.
The social exercise of women talking to their female friends, telling their stories. Oh, look, what did I do last week? Like it's just this whole egotistical, emotional idea sharing. It's mostly about me, and then they get their moment to breathe, and someone else does the same thing. Whether you see that on the screen or in reality, seems true to life to me. Depending on the context and who these people are and what kind of story you're telling, that can be gory, that could be adult, that could be goofy, that could be comedic. So I think most people know that when they go to the theater, it's like, oh yeah, women are just talking, they get excited. That's normal. Mm-hmm. Men do that too.
The problem is with women leaders, and I've always found this with whenever I've worked with like a female manager, is they get so obsessed with pretty much becoming a man that they take all the negative aspects of being a man. So they take the aggressiveness, the arrogance, and the just pettiness, and you know what I mean? And they multiply it by 1,000,000 times to become the most unlikable person, but no one ever wants to work for him, and it always collapses. Because instead of working to like what strength women have, which I know are very few, a half dozen, but they sort of go over the top, and I've seen it so many times. And the only time I've ever seen women be good managers is if they're in charge of a full female team, which, you know,
full female teams tearing themselves apart.
Yeah, but with that one, they can use. The thing is with women is there's always a head bitch. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So if they can turn the office into like almost like a friends group, they can become the head bitch. Whereas with men, it's a bit different. That doesn't really happen. There's always an alpha male, but the alpha male is usually get there by, you know...
So if you get one male into that group, the male gets the blame? And if there's no male to blame, then it sort of functions, you mean?
Yeah, it's sort of, because it just turns into high school. And
But Hawk, we've seen the island survival videos with the all-women groups. It's not working.
Yeah, that was interesting.
And you have in that. If anyone's seen that, you had a woman there who had the capacity, who had the personality and drive to be that sort of leader, who could have pulled everything together. But the majority of them didn't want that. They wanted democracy, where they all decide to go to the beach and lay in the sun and slowly thirst to death.
Whisp, the island that the show you're talking about, people who have gone on it have said it's the most comfortable, cozy, like there's 5-star hotels nearby that they can go to. That time we did the island with a woman island and a men's island is the only time known that they almost killed people on it. The women were that bad that even with a 5-star hotel, 5 minutes down the road, they all nearly died. That it was literally like they could have killed each other by such bad.
They destroyed their water filters.
Yeah.
The crew put little piglets onto their place, so that they could slaughter, so that they could have finally some food, because they were incapable of finding food, and instead of killing the piglets to eat them, they befriended them, gave them what food they have, and then left them.
Yeah, the reason why we did that is because one of the women was a vegan and she almost starved to death.
Good.
She almost starved to death in the jungle. I was like, this is amazing. I've only ever watched 2 seasons of it, and one of them was the Women's Island. If you want to watch comedy and you want to watch people almost die, watch the Women's Island. It's just it's amazing.
Yeah, I think the crew had to come in 3 times to save them.
Yeah, they set off with a map, and I kid you not, they they showed you the trail that the people took, and it felt like a Monty Python sketch. They were backtracking on themselves, going backwards. They were out for 4 days, and they travelled less than a mile and still got lost. And couldn't find the way back to the camp. And it was like, you've taken all the food, the people who can still walk and maneuver. They left 2 injured people on their own in the camp without medical supplies and everything like that. They took everything and got lost in the jungle.
Yeah, but the amazing thing was that when they split the group, with the group that ventured out had both the medically trained women on it, and in the camp there was no one with medical knowledge, and in the camp they had an accident.
Yeah,
it was like out of a comic book.
Yeah, one person was already injured. The other person got injured somehow. I don't know how that happened. They sent one person back. He got back and she ended up having the shits for a couple of days. So couldn't do anything. I was like, wow, this is just, you're all dying. If this was a real life thing, you are all dead. And the leaders were like, I just...
And when men had a fully functioning camp, the women at best were starting to decorate theirs.
The men had made fire the first night. The men had a working civilization, irrigation, water, fire, food. The women had one
several shelters for comfort, and the women had to huddle together under a meager improvised shag roof all together in a pile. It's like, whoa.
Yeah. Good times. Anyway.
Anyway.
So but if you ever wonder why there are so few good women leaders, there are good female leaders. They're just rare, but they are there. They can be very amazing if the shitty women let them. Mm-hmm. I'm sure that Female Island would have had a chance if they had let the competent woman lead them. But she was frustrated because if they don't want them, then fuck them. Because she seemed to be rather self-sustaining. Yeah, but in general, the politicians we get, they're not competent women.
Oh God, no.
See, the things we see in Germany, holy shit. You look at New Zealand with Jacinda Ardern, holy shit. She just walked across, she got to a fashion show where she walked across the aisle in a Dalek-like dress that was made for her. Dude, your country is burning due to your socialist bullshit policies.
No, she doesn't care. Sometimes it reminds me of. Did anyone watch? Was it The Thick of It? No. No. Oh, right. It's like it's a BBC comedy drama. It's got Peter Capaldi, the guy who went on to play the Doctor before Jodie Whittaker.
Yeah, the guy who looks like a Roman.
Yeah, and a woman takes over the party that he works for. And they finally kick her out because she's so useless. And it's got one of the most amazing fucking put-downs ever. Like, he just absolutely rips into her for being fucking useless. And he doesn't go that. It's not even including the fact that she's a woman. It's just the fact that she's so fucking useless. But she's based on pretty much every single woman leader or woman MP that just fucks up. And it's great. If you haven't watched it, you've got to watch it. It's wonderful.
What was the name?
It's called The Thick of It.
The Thick of It, all right.
Yeah. There's a lot of swearing in it.
Good.
A lot of British swearing. But, yeah.
Okay. Let's keep going.
Carry on, yeah.
Turn out to be corrupt frauds.
Do you hold yourself responsible? Well, for not having critical oversight.
I'm a better leader now. And like I said, it's devastating.
All this is in contrast to plentiful examples of real women, past and present, who have excelled as level-headed, intelligent, and inspirational leaders.
Level-headed and intelligent Angela Merkel, the fucking hack fraud, this communist mole that ruined Germany for the past 16 years. sold us out, destroyed our energy, our economy, our export, our everything.
But I thought it
yeah,
was a
that
man. Oh well.
We're not sure
You
what
learn
Angela
new
Merkel
things
really
every
is.
day.
She doesn't have children, so she could just be
Doesn't
an
have
alien
Tinder.
blob thing.
Yeah.
But I just love the way that it's like, look, there's examples of bad women leaders, okay? But here are a few good ones. It's like, right, Hollywood is very, like, pro-woman. Why are they writing bad women leaders? You know what I mean? That's the question you've got to ask. How can, like, Hollywood and everything so woke? It's like, if you find
Life corrects itself. That's how
but
nature
Have you
is
ever
healing.
noticed how much the left, the socialists, like Angela Merkel? Maybe that means something, that they're praising her all the time. These people are not always of the party that you think they are. That they are part of.
Anyway, I can't wait to see why it's men's problem or men's fault that there's bad female leaders.
Right.
Women have had less opportunity to take power, but when given the chance, they've proved just as effective.
No.
No. This has
Dude,
to be
that brain dead zombie woman? Are you fucking insane? This commie that's too dumb to even do the commie shit?
Yeah, these two can burn in hell.
Holy hell!
I don't even know the left one.
If you just give it I don't even know where to start with AOC.
Well,
this woman is
Nowhere.
insane.
Let's just move on.
Yeah.
The fact of the matter is, they have to shorten her name.
And some
They can't
more so.
pronounce
Here's
it.
our take on the overrepresented.
More so! I just talked about Jacinda Ardern. Have you any idea what's going on in New Zealand? They're aiming for the next 10 years to raise the literacy in the country to 65%, I believe.
Oh,
So this guy's points it out. It says, "Why are we so fixated on failed female leaders? We're not. We really are
They're
not.
just failing all the time."
Maybe the question is towards like the channel itself. Like, why are they fixated? It's not as implied. We as a population.
Why, why do I keep falling over my own feet, guys? I can't. I don't understand. Can you tell me?
Why is it that all these woke writers keep making all these female leaders really crap? I don't know. I really don't know, mate.
For the past decades, all we've got whenever we criticize these female leaders, we were called misogynists because that was the shield. It was impossible to criticize them, so how the fuck would you get rid of them? And I think that's in part of why they were propped up. Because then the shitty politics could be pushed through and nobody could complain. Because anybody who would complain would get his legs sawed off for being a misogynist.
Mm-hmm.
It's a trick. It's nothing but a trick. These were all pawns.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. This is going to be a very long, interesting video.
Trope of the dangerous female leader and what we really see happen when women take the reins.
But for better or worse, the crown has landed on my head. And I say we go.
Fictional female leaders get painted with the common misogynistic stereotypes that plague all women.
I can tell you're very emotional because I am very emotional too about.
No, that's why they are. That's just how they are. I've been in politics for 10 years of my life. That's how they are. These are not misogynistic stereotypes. Then, dear women, dear take women, because you're just like that, then stop being so stereotypical.
Yeah, I'm sorry to say this, but if women are going to say we're not emotional, my bullshit alarm has just gone completely bonkers here. How
you
can
we stop being emotional? Then take, I don't know, estrogen suppressors.
I've seen a woman cry over the way that a stone has rolled down the street because they're that emotional.
Here is.
So yeah, no.
Giga Chad.
They cried a lot of stuff.
All right, here's the Giga Chad. Angela Merkel, also known as Adolf Hitler, always went on and on about how bad Russia is and how much of a threat they are, yet bought most of her country's oil from Russia. And she even tries to stick her nose in Hungary and Poland's business.
Yes, like we are racist because we don't want to let through illegal immigrants.
Yeah,
but
she also knows into politics. She's a socialist. That's what they do.
I just remember that, like, I have like a family in Germany, like the Bavarian area, and that part of the family used to like support Merkel before the immigration crisis, and like after that, like they just like lost popularity altogether. Like they just couldn't handle it, and all she has done is to label other people racist if you don't agree with I can't keep messing up what kind of gender she is. Keep blaming someone else. What a great value in a politician to have.
Yeah. This is what the leaders do. This is what Justin Trudeau did with anyone who disagrees with him. They're racist. They're sexist.
Yeah, it's not even like about gender. It's like about the leadership itself.
Yeah.
Like,
It's only all counter arguments these assholes, these tyrants have is ad hominems. You just don't like my tyrannical, destructive things that are done to you that destroy your lives because you're a racist.
Yeah, they want to raise the carbon tax because they think that's going to save the climate in Canada. You're like, what the?
Something that I just noticed, obviously, about how the take's going to go with this video. So it's misogyny is making misogynists think that women are emotional. It's like, right, okay, but women are emotional. They're highly emotional, and it's also these bad leaders all follow these misogynistic things. They're literally going to start naming realistic people who acted this way in real life. With things, it's like, so how is that misogynistic if real life examples acted the exact same way fictional ones? How is this?
They would have been better off. They would have been better off sticking with the fictional ones, honestly.
Yeah. Because I'm
showing us these politicians that we know are massively corrupt, evil, provenly so. It's not gonna make your argument better. That may work for the ignorant younger people, but if you've actually followed what's going on and looked into any of these politicians, they're just like the men in regards of how corrupt and evil they are.
Yeah,
I mean in that they are just like the other politicians. Yeah, sure, but they're also I think with them the emotional arguments are more likely to come out, as well as the absolute, what is the right word? Dumbness? That sounds so plump. But I think Trudeau is the exception because he's actually like a female leader.
Yeah. My whole thing that I'm finding really laughable, and this is why I'm not going to get angry at this video, is the fact that Hollywood and all these writers are the most woke they've ever been. And still somehow the take have a problem and think it's misogyny, and it's like, you've literally made eunuchs out of writers in Hollywood.
Yeah.
And it's not good enough, and the problem it's not good enough is because these woke idiots and female writers realize that women are emotional and you don't want women to be emotional, yet you're getting highly emotional over the fact that there's bad female leaders.
What a wonderful paradox they have created.
And especially the last 10 years.
Well,
where it's been really extreme.
There's obviously bad stories, and there's going to be more bad stories in general than good. But if we're talking about television, there's been a lot of competition as a result of the streaming services coming on to...
Yeah, how bad they are.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, there's been really, really good television for the past 10, 15 years. And yes, again, there's all kinds of bad television. But because the competition is so high, we get really good content. So, yes, you could certainly...
Like Obi-Wan.
Well, that's streaming specific. That's what it's all the the exclusive ones are like, oh, we do this, we do that, but not everyone cares. So when you look at TV versus the streaming services, TV really has to compete, like HBO, to do something worthwhile.
Yeah.
That's why we got Game of Thrones so blowing up like crazy. So, there's comedy, there's drama, there's contemporary drama, there's all kinds of things out there that are great. So I don't mind them cherry picking and say, well, here's this example, but I can go back and pick out like 4 other examples of really great TV that have great female characters. So they have to have a good selling point for this trope that's bad, or this character that doesn't help their argument, the cause of whatever they're trying to fight for here.
The interesting part of this issue is that these characters, especially that they name, have, or shows in general, that they're now criticizing, that have been made in especially the past 10 years, they have cheered for all this time for their strong, competent girl boss characters. They like the girl boss character. But now it's all of a sudden it's a problem. As if they realized, oh wait, the way they wrote competent women actually makes us look bad, although that's what they wanted. And the way they had to be written like that was to write all the other characters dumb and incompetent and more incompetent.
Yeah, the problem is it's not how it's that the version of what we thought a good female leader was actually, on looking back at it, we found out we just made terrible people, and these people in real life we couldn't support or we couldn't be with. Yeah, I mean that's the problem. At the time, they were perfect. They were girl bosses. They're exactly what we wanted to be. But a year later, and you look back at it, you're like, no, actually, this actually makes us
these were all assholes.
Bad. Yeah, this makes us look like terrible people.
All right.
And it took them so long to realize.
Here's the Giga Chat one more time. Like a Giga Chat. Elizabeth Warren made my effing home state unaffordable to live in. She took bribes left and effing right and had the gall to criticize Musk for being super wealthy. If anybody in chat is a fan of hers, know that I will be inside your home.
Yeah, no. Also, didn't she pretend to be Native American for a bit?
She pretended to be
that 1/4 or whatever.
Right.
1,024.
Yeah,
0.0000%.
It was a huge number, yeah.
I'll be honest with you, I've been in more Native Americans than she is Native
My favorite one was when she was talking with her husband in some stupid selfie video where she's, I know, I'll have a beer. Like, she goes to grab a beer, you're like, yeah, that doesn't sound unnatural at all, Elizabeth. I'm sure you do that all the time.
Hey, have you heard about with the new Andor series? What the writers said?
No.
Oh, I watched the interview. Yeah. I watched that with LitDev.
Yeah, how she's the Nancy Pelosi of the Star Wars universe.
Oh, I didn't. I just heard the part. I just heard the part where some woman said she's surrounded by incompetent men, and the man sitting next to her looks at her like, "Sorry, what?"
No. He said that she's the Nancy Pelosi, and everyone's gone like, "What? Drunk?" And it's like, no.
She's old,
Botox,
strong female leader, and everything. I'm just like that,
lacking a bullet in her.
I saw someone. I think someone else also put what she's doing insider trading with the Empire or something like that. Someone also put what her husband did the holdo maneuver on somebody, and it's like all these things, and it's like she's like, no, she stands for freedom and all that, and everyone's like, no, that's not Nancy
Pelosi doesn't stand for freedom.
She could barely stand. The only time I've ever seen her stand is when someone went free bar, and it's like, ooh.
All right.
She's like that drunk auntie at a wedding. She sort of like goes across the dance floor for the next bottle of wine.
Let's keep going, guys.
This issue.
Women in power are depicted as driven by emotions that make them unreliable, if not crazy. Daenerys Targaryen on Game of Thrones initially presents as a strong-willed, self-possessed, and effective ruler who hopes to break the wheel of Westeros' oppressive government.
She's not really been an effective ruler. She's just been handed everything in the story to her. Like she's just walked through the desert and then gets handed a people, gets handed armies, dragons, bloody cities, bloody everything gets handed to her.
They literally cooked Jon Snow to make this woman amazing, and then screwed up her story.
And by the way, technically, she should have gone insane slowly, as that's what the Targaryens do. It's the birth defect, and they've screwed that up. But technically, that's where it could have or should have ended. Okay, it was just badly written into that point.
Why do I just now feel like they in the writing room they went bad female leaders, and Tate just went, "I don't want it. I don't want it, McQueen."
All right. Here's the Dark Sir. Thank you for the $5 super chat, sir. We misogynists hate women in media, except Ripley, Leia, Padme, Alloy, Bayonetta. Oh, no, wait. We hate bad characters, and we're not misogynistic.
Yes.
You forgot Samus.
You've got a lot of
dozens. There's dozens of women out there. It's such a silly thing to see. Oh, women have this stereotype of misogynists saying things like, what? Who made the stereotype, and why are they misogynistic for doing so? When we say women get emotional,
half of it's like, what was it like with people are going like with the She-Hulk program, and it's just like she's emotional, all this sort of stuff. I'm like, it's written by women. This entire show is written and run by women, so. That show is literally just someone trying desperately to say that it really is cool to be a single alcoholic, owning, mid-30s, man-hating, lonely feminist. Like, really desperate to push that narrative. But a lot of these modern programs are made by male feminists and women. Why are you complaining? These are the people you wanted to be in these positions. It's not our fault that they're making such bad shit. We've been against this for ages, but you just wanted those people.
Yeah, I like this meme with female lawyer written by man with Miss Wexler. I forgot her first name. Miss Wexler from Better Call Saul. Amazing character. That is a strong and competent woman.
Mm-hmm.
Versus female lawyer written by women, and you get She-Hulk.
Yeah,
and it's abominable.
You can literally just compare Disney Plus She-Hulk to the old John Bryan She-Hulk.
Of course,
you know the one everyone liked.
Yes, and it was a fun comic relief character for the most part.
Yeah,
that's cool.
You know something? What I've just realized.
No, in the original comics, when Bruce is the one worried about her not getting involved in the superhero stuff, she was all for it.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. Her name was Kim.
Yeah, I think the problem is every hardcore feminist is one good shag away from becoming a traditional wife, and I think that's the problem with feminism.
Depends if they are proper crazy, like they would get a diagnosis if they went to a therapist. Then I don't think so. I don't think then they're just one shag away from that. I don't think that can save them.
I like how
they're
Hawk
super
is suggesting that like fuck the pain away is a real thing.
Yeah, but for the rest, sure. The ones that just fall for this ideological bullshit and just don't know better, yeah, sure, that might work.
Hawk, the man of the magic dick.
Yeah, well, let's put it this way. My girlfriend was all about climbing the corporate ladder. I've been with her a year. She's talking about staying at home, looking after the kids, raising a family. I'm sorry, but that, magic dick or what?
Yeah.
If you want to hear the old man story of my Mr. Miyagi in the tea shop, who grew up during the hippie times, he said the feminists during that time, who were also all hanging around with the guys doing weed and whatever, they all wanted back then. They also wanted all the emotional, more effeminate, lanky guys. And 10 years later, they all had switched to the big hunks and became housewives with 3 kids. Because they realized, like, those soy boys of the hippie times, they weren't actual proper man material. And that they found their fulfillment in actually raising a family and not this feminist bullshit. And I think we'll have a repeat of that, just with way more extreme results now, because due to the internet, social media, the feminist mind poisoning has spread so much further and to so much younger girls, where we even got this whole bullshit of teenage girls, especially ruining their bodies with false transitioning, with hormone therapy that ruins their voice, that makes them grow stubble, and with mastectomies.
Based.
Yeah, they will,
Well, anyway.
and we are now.
Anyway, let's go with the video.
We're now getting the bad results of that.
All right.
Anyway, let's get back to bad female leaders written by women. God, it's misogynistic.
But series,
Right.
her urge for revenge turns her into an unstable tyrant who senselessly burns down an entire city in a fit of sudden rage.
Let it be fair.
Other fictional female rulers lean into a different stereotype of power-seeking women as being unnaturally cold and conniving. This characterization has its most iconic roots in Lady Macbeth, a woman who manipulates her husband into committing murder.
Isn't that what women do?
One of the core takeaways in stories about this type of character is that by being so ruthless and ambitious, she's trying to detach from her very womanhood.
Unsex me.
Just isn't that what you wanted? You hated all the feminine traits. Feminism for the past 10, 20 years, if not 50 years, hated feminine traits.
So-
you wanted women basically to become men. And now you show us all the psychopaths.
Yeah.
They don't function right in the first place.
I'm just trying to see how violence or aggression is non-feminine. Like, how are we?
So by that statement, you can figure out what their definition of woman is, which is perfect angel that is never violent, always peaceful, and only good things. Bad things. Women do not have bad traits. You know, they're perfect.
Yeah.
This is the female narcissism that we see here.
And then women meet each other.
And fight to the death.
Not here, Jesus Christ. Have you seen women fight? Bloody hell. It's vicious.
Yes, I have, unfortunately.
They mean it. They don't just punch each other's faces and then they're done, pat each other on the back and then drink a beer together. No, they want to tear each other's eyes out.
Yeah, remember that
Why do you think they're called cat fights?
Yeah, remember that person who got mauled by that chimpanzee? And I had to have that facial reconstruction. Yeah, that's like an easy fight with a woman.
Are you comparing women to monkeys?
No, chimpanzees. They're completely different. They're apes.
Right.
Okay. Let's keep it going.
Here.
Menschenaffe.
At least it's the women and not the other
To
thing.
the toe top full of direst cruelty.
The long shadow of Lady Macbeth strongly informs Daenerys' primary foil throughout Game of Thrones, Cersei
what?
Lannister. We start the series with women.
You made a massive leap there.
You just mix up the characters?
Because Shakespeare, therefore Daenerys? What?
You think Shakespeare? And
I read Shakespeare once.
Okay.
If you wanna conflate Shakespeare with Game of Thrones, then your go-to character for Lady Macbeth would be Cersei.
No,
not
but I just
Daenerys.
You've just compared to the greatest writer in English literature to the guys who made Game of Thrones.
The fat
it's the
man
same
who
category.
jumps naked on his trampoline in his garden who can't finish his book.
Compared,
It is a tragedy, but for completely different reasons.
You've compared a man who wrote so many stories.
Who wrote a chapter self-inserting himself, whining about his tiny dick.
Well, no, but it's just a bit like you wrote a man who finished like plays and stuff for the Queen of England to a man who's so lazy he's given up on a story that he started. One story. And two guys who forgot a fleet was there.
What else is this video gonna uncover? I wonder.
The long shadow of Lady Macbeth. Like, wow, what a shadow! Holy shit!
Yeah, I mean, the long shadow of good storytelling completely overshadows this terrible TV series.
I wish that the characters in any of the Game of Thrones books or the Song of Ice and Fire books were as conniving as Lady Macbeth.
Yeah, she is so... I wish any of the characters in Game of Thrones were as well written as any of the characters in Macbeth. I wish just one of them was.
Yeah.
I think the closest she got was Ned Stark, and they killed him off so early on it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. But just read Terry Pratchett instead. At least you'll get a laugh out of it.
All right. We got Vladimir, and we got another donation. Here's Gottentag. Okay, Gotten. Vladimir again. The only time men want to actually tear each other limb from limb is when they really hate each other or it's for personal reasons. Yeah, revenge. There you go.
Yeah. The Thunderdome.
Or, there you go.
Yeah, good mafia shit.
Women tear each other to pieces because they wore the same dress to a party.
Okay. Here's Kyogre's hideout. It's very clear at this point they don't want accurate portrayals and representation. They want propaganda that makes them seem like deities who can do no wrong and are the pinnacle of perfection.
Yeah, but that's the joke. That's the joke. That's the joke. Hollywood tries to write that, and every time it just turns into a psychopath Mary Sue, just like Riri Williams.
Yeah, every time they do it, it ends up doing the exact fucking opposite.
Every time they do it,
you look at the I Am Not Starfire comic with this fat self-insert borderline fuck that is just. That's also technically a Mary Sue, but it's just so horrible, and it's self-inserts. He had to take women. These are all written by feminists.
Well, it's like
fucking losers.
I finally, because obviously Eve Happenova finished that Gotham High.
Oh God!
I hope everyone remembers that.
Oh boy!
And the story ends. Literally made Selena Kyle not just a psychopath, but incredibly evil, to the point where she just wanted to steal money from Bruce Wayne, even though he was offering it.
What?
Like she just wanted to do it for fun.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's borderline shit.
Yeah, and it was a bit like, oh my god, this was written by a woman. A woman wrote this, thinking this is perfectly normal. This is what I'm saying. You've got women. Who do you want to write these things? Because women are writing these things and you're not happy with it. Who do you actually want to write your stories? Because men can't write obviously. Women can't write it. So, what do you want?
They want
aliens.
It's for the 1%.
We need to unearth some actual ancient aliens and they then write this stuff.
But it's also like, we know that they're going to start talking about real life examples of stuff, and it's like, so we've got to fake what happened just to make the women good leaders, even if their entire story is about them being a bad leader.
Yeah, look, maybe that's why they like why women like communism so much, because it's all about lying about how awesome everything is when the truth is everything's shit and evil.
You know something? And women lie so much, and yet have a go at us for saying we've got 8 inches. Come on, it's really annoying. This is...
Okay.
Anyway, Lady Macbeth.
What do you even do with 8 inches?
I'm not going to tell you that, but...
That'll just end in pain.
Okay, all right.
Not for me.
Especially if they cut it off.
Well, yeah, any inch would hurt.
Anywho.
They have to have dragon products for
Moving on.
Let's keep going.
Of how Cersei is trapped in her marriage to King Robert.
I should wear the armor, and you the gown.
which she eventually manages to maneuver her way out of by getting him fatally wounded in a hunting accident. Through years of machinations...
Accident.
Oh, hold on.
Accident.
Yeah, but hold on.
I can't make bigger air quotes.
Just hold on for 5 seconds, Whisp. Let me just say this one thing. The way they said that makes me realise that they're upset about these women being psychopaths because they're psychopaths. Because the way they said, "Oh, she gets out of her marriage by having an accident," and it's like the way you said that makes you think it's a perfectly reasonable thing to do.
She said she got him a hunting accident, and she said with like nothing, irony, sarcasm, anything in her voice. It's like normal speaking. Like this is the most normal thing in the world. Like she's talking about the weather. To take women up psychopaths themselves, and not just because they and if you see them when they're on screen, they have some of these psychopath obsessive books on their bookshelf behind them. Some of the useful ones and some of the just these people are obsessed with this, and that's why I wonder, why are women the most interested demographic into crime drama? Whether it's books or whether it's movies, that they're obsessed with reading about committing crime.
Mm-hmm.
Well, in regards to the
specifically
actual,
against their husbands.
Well, in regards to the actual plot that the Queen did against King Robert, her grand plan was to ask King Robert's squire to give him lots of wine, which he drinks of a lot anyway. So that's it. That's as far as it went. And it just so happens that he was too drunk to properly fight a boar or stab a boar, and he fell and hurt himself. And that's it. Like that's the grand genius. That's as far as she thought, guys. Okay, it's not some amazing evil.
But what I'm trying to say is the way they said it makes them sound psychopathic. Yes. Because they literally said it in such a way that, murdering your husband is a legitimate way to get out of a marriage. It's like, no.
Well, it's a way to get out of it, but not legitimate.
Yeah, I know, but the way they said it.
I know. I'm just breaking balls.
I've met feminists who do justify that in real life. Then they say it's necessary for them to. It's unfair that women end up more in prison for murder of their spouses because there's no other way to get away from their men than to kill them by poisoning or some such. So they get convicted with murder while their husbands just beat them up and leave. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I've heard this from someone who works in court here, not as some secretary, but some higher position, not a judge, and said that I've been working, advocating whatever for women's shelters for 25 years, and I'm like, that's the mid-90s. There have been women's shelters here already. What the fuck are you talking about? Why do you complain that women get convicted for actual murder when they could have left? This is bullshit.
Okay, here's one.
I'm talking about in Germany, not not I don't know, Uganda or whatever.
Here's Vladimir with the $5. Thank you, sir. Who goes through the effort to steal free money? And you spelled steal with 2 E's, so I don't know if you're bronzing or using iron carbide.
No. It's a typo.
I think it's a typo too. Yeah.
And you could say either people with principles, or people who are simply insane.
What, stealing free money? It's called the government.
Huh.
We're making free money. Yeah. Okay, let's keep going.
She becomes queen in her own right. In some ways, Cersei is the best player of the Game of Thrones, but only because she has no morals holding her back. She's willing...
okay.
She sounds proud of that. The woman reading that, she sounds proud of that. She has
like,
no morals to hold her back. That's not a good thing.
Yeah, we just skipped 3 books. there was lots of in between how she became queen. So,
also, didn't she absolutely burst into tears when her son died?
Mm-hmm. Oh, emotions.
Yeah, the previous king. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the thing is also, I wouldn't say she's the best because she already starts. So you look at the starting point. She starts from a strong house, basically a ruling house.
Yeah.
While the best player of the houses, you could rather find in what was her name? The house with the rose, the old grandma. Bye.
Uh-oh.
What happened?
Yeah, the Mark fell off.
Oh, Mark got cut.
Yeah, I forgot the names of all these characters. The grandma with the
Tyrells.
Yeah, the Tyrells. There was a comparatively minor house, yet she especially was playing all the other houses, including the Lannisters. That is a good player for the game, for all of this. Cersei had to rely on absolutely crazy shit happening. Something's falling into her lap. She had to resort to active murder again and again. And what was this? Had other events to play into that as well. With what was that? When the witch killed Robert. Was it Robert, the son? Robert Stark, with magic. And all of this other shit. Like many things had to play into her hand that were done by other people. Just killing around isn't really playing the Game of Thrones. That's the crude part of it. The proper part of the great game that is often a theme in good medieval and fantasy novels is the game of politics that you play without all the killing and stabbing, where the backstabbing is rather metaphorical. You see that basically mafia plots also work like that. They also have the crude element, of course, with the assassinations. But in the end, the killing is the boring part of it. That which takes, because okay, you need to get away with it, all right. But the smart part of it that justifies you as a good player of the game is getting into power without having to resort to that. Yeah. If you resort to if you are in the winning position, but you resorted to all of that, you may be a strong player, but you're not necessarily a smart player.
Yeah,
you're a good player. I don't know. I rather lean to the smart ones.
The best way to win the game is to overhear some conversations and dance well, isn't it, Smud?
Yeah,
let's not
here's
go there.
A real life example of playing the Game of Thrones properly without resorting to killing, like a certain Miss Clinton, is how Angela Merkel did it, because she basically beheaded every single competent man in the Conservative Party by setting him up for failure or having him take the blame for something, and therefore removing every competent competition she could ever have in that party. And that's why we got her for fucking 16 years. And the Conservative Party is completely broken. That's how you play the Game of Thrones.
Well, if you want a comparable video game that's more modern, a few years ago it was Fire Emblem Three Houses. Well, a lot of the Fire Emblem games have a lot of political intrigue. And most recently this year was also on the Switch, which was Triangle Strategy, which is all about trying to get the throne and all the houses involved, all the nations involved. It's actually a really great game. I've been playing it recently, and it is a streamlined version, I'm happy to say, of Final Fantasy Tactics. It's that good.
Okay, it's not one of the Fire Emblem Warriors games that came out.
No.
Again.
No.
Because I have to be careful what I buy, because I'm like, oh, a Fire Emblem game, and then a Warrior something.
Yeah.
Oh, God, no. Stay away.
Well, this game is actually there's so much story, and there are lots of optional things you don't even need to read, and they give you that option. Do you want to check this out? Do you want to check the notes? Do you want to check these books? It's like, no, I'll just play the game. They let you do that, but there's so many like what you were describing was there's a certain house, they just do that. They just plan and plan and plan. And there's these scenes where you just watch this guy. Who is this guy? He's just like plotting and plotting and plotting. He doesn't do anything for 2 chapters. He's sitting around. Maybe if I do this and this will happen. It's like, okay, we get it. So it's a cool story. If you like tactics games, it's pretty fun. Anyway,
great.
Back to this wonderful video.
To do anything for power, including mass murder.
It felt good to imagine their shock and their pain. No thought has ever given me greater joy.
House of Cards presents a similar character in Claire Underwood, who starts out the series ruthlessly ambitious and cold as ice, and only becomes more Machiavellian and power-hungry as time goes on.
Presidents aren't allowed to be human. You have to choose power or love.
Female rulers are also often depicted as being hypocrites who use nice-sounding rhetoric to gain power, then prove to be even worse than the guy.
Yeah, so do the men.
It's because it comes natural to them.
Yeah, it's real life.
Yeah.
This is nothing.
Again, we're talking about people written by women at this point in time.
Yeah, I know. But it's the same. It's just power. That's all it is. Not a big deal.
That's reality.
Of course, there have been high-profile cases of bad girl bosses in the last decade who have made big promises and failed to live up to their own hype.
The verdict is in. The disgraced Theranos founder and CEO found guilty on 4 of 11 counts in her landmark Silicon Valley fraud case.
But our media and...
You guys don't remember that? It happened a few...
Yeah. Which one was that?
This is the woman who invented or supposedly invented a blood testing machine that if you give a drop of your blood, it'll give you a big report on whatever you're... Like all kinds of reports. If you did a mass spec, if you did cancer, if you did... all kinds of things. And
I remember that.
It went on and on for about, 7-8 years or 6-7 years, and it was just a big fraud. So
yes, so obviously Vaish's been written as she was a good leader.
I guess.
Yeah. I remember seeing interviews with her, and anybody who knows or just has life experience can see this is a pathological liar.
Yes.
All over the place. Her body language is so extreme.
It wasn't just that. It was also the way she controlled information and how if there were people who doubted her or anyone on the team who had objections, they were fired, they were silenced, they were paid. Like all these crazy stories of investors going, what happened? And then getting tours of this building, which was all empty. And funny, weird shit that happens. But that's business. Anyway.
Pop culture seems set on foregrounding and revisiting these examples, repeatedly unpacking exactly what was so bad about them. Sometimes it's that their dreams are too big, and they have too much hubris to listen to the smart people around them or see their own limitations.
Our mission is to unleash every child's superpowers. You can't put a price tag on that.
Other times, this character is portrayed as just lacking in some basic moral feeling or decency. President Coin in The Hunger Games, like Daenerys, starts out acting like a capable, empathetic ruler, helping lead the resistance against President Snow and the institution of the Hunger Games.
Miss Everdeen, this revolution is about everyone. It's about all of us. And we need a voice.
But once Snow is defeated, Coin plans yet another Hunger Games as a way to consolidate her own power, this time using the children of the vanquished rulers in order to enact revenge. She even stages a false flag operation by bombing and killing civilians.
She never liked you. She doesn't like anybody or anything.
Yay, good leader.
There are structural reasons.
Well, that's like with history.
Uh-huh.
This has happened. That's why, oh my god.
Post-apocalyptic world where the rich control the poor and it's limited resources and they use a manhunt style game.
Aren't you? Go on.
Yeah. It's like, that's reality.
Yeah.
Isn't the take the fucking communists that want to take us? Oh, don't trust the powerful leaders and the capitalisms. Unless, of course, we got communist leaders, then it's all great.
Let's take the means of production.
Yes, well.
This is just single-handedly a really bad video, but I'm just laughing at the fact that everything they're complaining about comes from women.
Yeah.
And they're still somehow making it men. I'm like, okay, whatever. You will never be happy. You are constantly unhappy people.
Yeah.
I'm perfectly true.
These
The problem with bad female leaders is that we are biased against them.
Yeah, these fast cuts and mentioning the Hunger Games, this could be easily applied to male characters. There's no inherent feminine thing like motherly feelings or charm or sex or like there's nothing. It's just that's the character. That's what she did in the story. And she's doing her plot of revenge. It's like that's fine. What's wrong with that?
Yeah. No, look, Finland got socialists into power again. Female team for women, like the fucking squad in America, and within months, they had destroyed the world-leading Finnish education system. They revamped it and turned it into complete utter garbage.
You know the best thing about that Finland thing though, Whisp, is during COVID, they closed all the pubs and bars and everything, except for the private bar underneath the Finnish Prime Minister's house, which she and the rest of her female-led cabinet frequently partied in. And when the news broke, what she did was she didn't apologise and she didn't say she did wrong. What she did was she made it illegal for the newspapers to make stories about the government.
Well, that's communism.
So it's illegal in Finland to make news stories about the government. So unless
I haven't heard that before.
Well, it's the same thing that happened in was it the Netherlands about the Dutch farmers a few years ago. Now they're still protesting. That's happening in Canada right now. Well, not as much, but on a smaller scale with stupid Earth programs and
it's smart. It's happening in Germany too.
Oh, really?
It's just nobody reporting on it.
Oh, well.
We've had farmers shoving dung on police cars as well.
Yeah,
weird. There's barely any reporting on it.
Well, there's certain arguments
to be made.
Media,
you don't find it.
A few years ago, because there's all this pollution, air pollution, and they think, it's because of ammonia. It's like that's part of it. Yes, so let's stop the nitrogen fixation in our soil. It's like, wait, no, we need that. We need food. We can't stop doing that. Sorry. So to affect the Dutch farmers, which are, I don't know if you guys know anything about farming, but the Dutch are the best at it in the world, and to take them apart or take them down is kind of insane. And to see that happen in Europe, and then
the Dutch creates most of the food in Europe.
Yeah,
which is why when they said, "Oh, we're going to cut all this down," it's like you'll make food shortages in Europe, and they're like, "Oh, okay then." It's like, okay then, and the reason why they're doing it in Europe is literally because they want to save the German swamps.
They want to what?
There's some swampland in Germany, right? Bogs, swamps, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And the ammonia is just a little bit too high in there. So they want to save the swamp. They want to put Europe into starvation to save about 500 swamps.
What?
Seriously?
Okay, that's the story on top. The real reason is, and we've known this because this is the WEF plans.
Yeah.
They want to destroy all these economies. That's why we have energy shortages. That's why Germany is putting sanctions on Germany in order to fight Russia. If you
that's why the
really
Russians
think
blew
about
up their own pipeline, isn't it?
I thought that was NATO.
No, Russia blew up their own pipeline. Joe Biden said, and I trust everything that Joe Biden says. He's never told me anything wrong so far.
Has nothing to do with the NATO bomber that flew exactly around that pipeline when it blew up?
Not at all. NATO, never heard of them before. Don't know who they are.
Okay.
Do they vote for Joe Biden? Well, they're not black, so who cares?
Okay. No, this is part of these insane Bond supervillain level WEF plans to destroy Europe. It is.
Well,
it sounds insane because it is. It is insane.
Kamala Harris praised North Korea as a great ally of America.
Oh God.
Well, I like how they're calling the new Italian leader a fascist when fascism was banned like 100 years ago.
the 6 degrees of separation. Like, you know, like on Wikipedia, you can go onto any article and then 6 links you'll get back to Hitler.
Oh, really?
Well, every political party in Italy, you could literally go back to Mussolini.
It's you know, Italians. I just did it because everyone was like saying she's like the wild right wing, and I'm like looking at this party she's a part of. There's 6 factions inside of it, and that's just one party. There's like Canada has maybe 4 major parties. They have 6 major parties, and they all have factions, multiple factions.
Amazing. And this, it will never end that they will call everything evil fascist because fascism is evil, therefore everything evil is fascist, when the modern fascism coined by Mussolini was an entirely left-wing thing.
Yeah.
Because it describes what it describes is worker unions ruling. Fascism is the ruling of worker unions. What does that sound like? Does that sound like a right-wing thing or like a communist thing?
It's pretty much ownership by the state, although it's a very nuanced thing.
That's what you get out of it at the end. Did someone click
what
around
just
in the
happened?
video?
Yeah, I think we just lost the video.
Oh.
Let's try.
Oh, that's a shame.
Why is Hollywood?
No, we got to about 4 minutes in. So
yeah, we were right around here.
Yeah. Okay, let's go.
Yeah.
So another Hunger Games as a way to consolidate her own power.
Anybody or anything she can't control.
There are structural reasons.
All right, so here
Yeah,
we
we're
were.
right here.
And this is why the left will call everything, because the whole fascist thing turned pretty evil, and every failed socialism will eventually be called not socialism. They've been trying that with the Soviet Union now, trying to frame Stalin as a right-wing fascist instead of the communist that he was. Because they have to keep the idea of socialism clean and pure and left wing. So the left wing needs to be clean and pure, just like these women here need to be clean and pure. The women definition: women do nothing wrong; they're angels. They bring about utopia. So let them do everything that they want without consequences. And the left wing ideology, the socialism, communism, works the same way. It works like narcissistic personality disorder. I am perfect. You must not criticize me, for then you are evil. And so the product of socialism, which is fascism, has to be framed as not left-wing, as not socialist, so that socialism can keep doing the very thing and just call everything that is opposed to socialism fascism.
Well, guys,
which is the insane trick.
If you want to know the actual definition, I don't know if it's relevant today, but if you want to know where it came from, it's Giovanni Gentile, who wrote the essay with Mussolini. It's, I don't know, 8 pages? It's not that long. But that'll give you the actual definition. It's a lot of idealistic mumbo jumbo, but it's not hard to read. So, anyway, let's keep going. Here is Vladimir one more time. Hey, how's it going? How's everyone doing, by the way? I'm doing fine. Thank you so much. I'm good.
Yes.
How are you guys doing?
Great.
All right.
Yeah. All right. One more from Vladimir. Speaking of Russia, they're now buying ammo from North Korea. Should tell you how desperate they're getting. I don't know what's going on.
No, they're not. Like, let's just put it this way. The minute Russia's actually desperate, and this is what I keep trying to explain to people, if Russia was as desperate as the Americans had tried to make out, there'd be boots on the ground, because nothing boosts approval than a successful war. If Biden fought, if the Democrats thought they could beat Russia and liberate Ukraine, they'd send American troops in.
The Democrats. You're right.
No, seriously, because they're that desperate to get approval right now, they do it. And this is the same thing with like NATO and everything like that. The Russians are not as desperate as they're making out. Because let's put it this way: the Russians were meant to lose the war within 5 days.
I meant the Democrats thinking they'd win.
No, but that's the thing. If they were as like overbuying ammo from North Korea, and it's perfectly easy to buy ammo from an ally. It's not difficult. There's a like almost like a land border between them. You know what I mean? It's like it's easy to do. So, yeah, this idea that Russia's struggling in the war is no, it's not. It's not a thing that's happening. If they were really struggling, Ukraine would, yeah. The war in Ukraine is really weird. It's one of those where it's going to turn into like almost like a war of attrition because the Russians have really got what they've wanted, and yeah,
Well,
they've got
according
what
to
they
the
want.
news a few days ago, they've already got their 4 regions they've annexed. So
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
it
they've
looks
got-
a little bit. It also looks a little bit like a fake forever war.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So, like I say,
And
it's
forever was already fake-ish in how they're set up.
Yeah.
But this is just weird.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I don't want to get into that. It's a big issue, and the information we're getting is not the same as everyone else. So,
yeah.
Anyway,
And it's by the way, had Clinton got into office, she would have started war with Russia. That was her intention. So I'd be careful to use her as a positive example for women leaders.
I do know that the Americans have granted another second bill to Ukrainians. I got, was it 12 billion?
Yeah. Yeah,
Something like
12 billion dollars. Yeah.
First
The thing is, as I'll always say, if there was ever any real feeling of weakness, you'd know there'd be more troops in because it's just the way that it is. A good war is always good for approval of a leader, especially one as divisive as Biden, whose approval is going through the floor. Do you know what I mean?
And don't never forget, the news in every war is propaganda. All of it.
Mm-hmm.
To find the one speck of truth in it is very, very difficult. Whatever you find on the mainstream is probably bullshit or so skewed that you can't warp it back to what it actually was.
It's like this. I always remember the news story of, what was it, Snake Island, where supposedly on the island the Ukrainians told the Russians to fuck off, and all the soldiers were killed in a naval bombardment. 3 months later, all the soldiers were being awarded medals in person by the Ukrainians. Remember the Ghost of Kiev? That guy who didn't exist and never existed and everything like that, but everyone said it did. And all that. It's like, yeah, everything that comes out.
Wasn't there even a tweet by Sabaton out there for hey, we're watching?
Yeah, let's put it this way: every single bit of media that's come out about the Ukraine war, you'd have thought that Ukraine won 6 months ago. When in reality, that's not the case. So this is why I'm just saying, they might be buying weapons from North Korea or ammo from North Korea. That's fine. Doesn't mean they've lost the war, and doesn't mean they're desperate.
Yeah,
but
there's
anyway,
an active war going on. You cannot trust what either side says at all, especially the extreme news.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's not get into that anymore. Let's
get back to the video.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's just
I know there's a war going on, but it's so we are in the dark. Everyone is. So
yeah.
Let's just keep going.
Reasons that female leaders may feel more pressure to compromise their ideals and harden themselves against a hostile work environment.
Women are not
perceived as capable in the ways that we have historically seen men. This is bullshit.
Doctors.
It's because it's because women's strengths are different.
That said that.
It's so women have different strengths where they are more capable than men. That men are less capable than women.
no offense, but
That's
I
okay.
I don't care about the opinions of someone who sounds like a footballer cleaning his nose. So
all right, let's go.
So maybe women are not perceived as capable in the ways that we have historically seen men, which is a black and white generalization, by the way, is because they are not. Because we're talking about different attributes, different capacity, completely different talents and specializations. Because we are a species that has evolved to share the labor of life, what is necessary to keep life going. And that's okay. Take pride in what you're good at.
But instead of thoughtful investigations of that, so much of the time we just get power-hungry female characters who are cartoonishly hypocritical and lacking moral boundaries or feelings. Rebecca Webb, the desperate CEO of a soulmate-finding company in the Netflix series The One, leaps pretty suddenly to killing one of her best friends when he threatens her business.
Don't. If we don't get him help, he's gonna die.
Maybe this is for the best.
On Prison Break, Vice President Caroline Reynolds actually poisons the president in order to get what she wants.
And you said I couldn't get things done. Madam Vice President, perhaps we can get
Isn't that
together
just
and discuss
Hillary
how we-
Clinton?
It is president now, madam.
The female ruler is held to an impossible standard, that she should be a mythically feminine caretaker who's simultaneously free from emotion, unflappably logical but never cold, and always entirely authentic and selfless in helping other women no matter how difficult it is for her to rise up or maintain power in the first place.
You're just lazy to achieve that.
Is this like not watching the biography of Queen Elizabeth, or is this just, all the stories about women in power who are politicians can't be emotional? It's like, well, yeah, you shouldn't argue emotionally when you're in Congress. That's kind of how it goes.
I like the speech of Margaret Thatcher when she slammed her handbag on the podium to the EU and exclaimed, "Where is my money?" That was amazing. That's and I don't care. This a male leader can do just the same, like the knee fall of Willy Brandt. That's an emotional moment as well. It's great. Historic moment.
But also, if we're talking about all these Netflix shows, and it's like Netflix is incredibly woke. Again, what do you want? Yeah. This is what I mean. It's like
last week they praised all this girl boss shit.
Yeah.
They make us look like criminals. That's what you want to be. We figured you out. Maybe they're watching Smudcast and for like, oh shit, they figured us out. Like tons of people figured you out. All the people who downvote you figured you out.
Yeah.
And there's plenty of emotional outbursts from male politicians. Everyone remembers was it Khrushchev banging his shoe on the podium? There's all kinds of.
I mean, let's be honest with you. Hitler was quite emotional when he made some speeches.
Oh yes. He was so fucking emotional. Also on meth, when he berated Mussolini about random shit that Mussolini couldn't even follow anymore because he was in a drug rant. That Mussolini stayed in the alliance when he actually wanted out because he was afraid of this man.
Mm-hmm. The king at the time asked him to as well.
And then we have Guy Verhofstadt, who was leader of the European Commission for way too long, or that he was that at all, from his tiny, crap, insane, fanatic communist party from the fucking Netherlands that had single-digit percentage points, that gets to be leader of the fucking EU. You want to tell me that has democratic legitimacy? The guy, by the way, complained that Donald Trump was not the proper president because he didn't have the popular vote. Said by a communist, voted with single-digit percentages in the Netherlands, put into the most powerful position in the European Union. Nobody voted for that asshole, and he stood in the in the European Parliament and had this like almost Hitler-esque rant with his stupid hair also flapping about just like Hitler's. We need an EU army, and we need more power to the EU. The constitutions of the other nations, they just stand in the way of the EU.
Yeah.
That is the true purpose of the EU, right there, spoken out by the leaders of it. By the communist leaders of it. Merkel collapsed. She wanted the same thing. And don't think that the people now in charge of the EU are any different.
I'm glad we're not in it anymore.
Oh yeah, I'm glad you're not in it anymore, for your own sake.
But
the only way we will get out of it is once everything's in ruins again.
If you guys do want to watch a funny video, Whisp was talking about Hitler high on meth, go watch the one of the Olympics he was at, where he's just absolutely bonkers. He's just in his chair. They have video of just him in his chair, just like jumping up and down, like he's got something on his chair that's causing him to be electrocuted or something.
I vaguely remember this, where he's grinning and
it's like he has a cane on his crotch. And he's rubbing the cane. I was like, what is he doing? He's just like, yeah.
And he's like rocking a little bit all the time.
It's really wild. It's like he is going through withdrawal or he is hopped up on something. It's hilarious.
He's super high.
Yeah, it's
super
amazing. Go search that. It's just like
he's like his doctor, who's personal doctor, who started him on all this stuff. Later wanted to get him off it and give him lower doses, but Hitler demanded, no, give me double. Well, he had to, because otherwise it would have bit his head off.
Oh, God. All right. Anyway, here's a violence like beer domestic. All right. It is unfair to expect a female leader to act within her citizenry's best interest and make calculated decisions when failure to do so results in death and economic hardship. Damn, I never thought they'd be so open about saying it.
Mm-hmm. Well.
Yeah, when your compassion for the outsider overwhelms your compassion for your own people, then you're a bad leader.
Okay.
As you can have compassion for those, but you first have to have compassion for your own people.
Here is Vladimir one more time. I'll go back to the video. Also, I think you missed on one of my super chats, but I'll repeat it. I think YouTube censors the other spelling of steel. Really? Okay. That's
I can imagine it. At this point.
The word steal? Okay, that's weird.
Well, stealing is a black.
It's an evil word.
It's an evil word. Oh, okay.
Racist.
It's against the commandments. There we go. Very, very religious YouTube.
We need Newspeak. We need Newspeak to say it like
appropriation of goods.
Ungiving. It's not stealing anymore. It's ungiving.
Okay.
Anyway.
Clear standard is built for women to fail it and thereby reinforce our cultural expectation of the untrustworthy female leader. How about you? Are you the lady of your manor, but just need the title to match? This video sponsor, Established Titles, can actually make it happen.
Skip it.
The premise is simple. There's an ancient Scottish...
Yeah. You want to be a lord? Yeah, own a meter of land in Scotland. That's great.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll do that.
Call me Lord Smud. I'm a Scottish. I have a Scottish piece of land somewhere I've never been to. Plant a tree.
It's not even a nice piece of land, and you're like next to horrible people, mainly women. Also, you don't become a lord either. You just become a lady. So.
I mean, lord sounds so much better.
Here we go. That was a mid-roll ad without using AdSense. They baked it into their video. Good for you guys. Okay. Let's go.
So why is all this negativity around the female ruler character happening now? In part, it's a backlash stemming from the rise and fall of the 2010s girl boss.
You know, I tried college for a year. Total bust. Everything you want to learn, you could just look up online.
It's not a
Named
backlash.
after Sophia Amoruso's book and the TV show based on her life as the young CEO and founder of Nasty Gal, the girl boss phenomenon built on Sheryl Sandberg's book Lean In to argue that women being individually successful is politically important. Sandberg and the movement did identify some pervasive stereotypes and obstacles facing women.
As a man gets more successful, he is better liked by men and women. And as a woman gets more successful, she is less liked.
But the promise of the girl...
Yeah, Jesus Christ, right. I'm going to sit you down, I'm going to explain something. Women are incredibly jealous and petty, and also looking for an easy life. So, when they see a man who's getting really successful, they tend to like those successful men. When they see a woman, they think, I want to be that.
Plus,
so they
not
get
all
jealous.
successful men are well liked, you know.
Yeah, not all successful men are well liked. There's a thing called
does anybody really like the CEO of Amazon? Didn't think so.
Well, but it's like, but the thing is, what she's trying to say is that they're respected. It's like, well, yeah, you respect that they get there. It's like, okay, if they've worked hard, that's fine. It's just the fact that a lot of the time, the women who make that money become so unlikable. But that's not like fantasy or fiction. That's real life. They become really fucking unlikable. And also, women do not like seeing other women succeed.
Yeah.
Women hate seeing other women succeed.
Yeah, because that raises the bar for competition.
Yeah.
And that's why we have on the other end of the spectrum the women who attack advertisement posters for gyms that have real existing women that work out and look good, protesting that as misogynist and setting unrealistic standards with unrealistic depictions of women that really exist. And who does protest that? Fat couch potatoes. Lazy. Because they want to lower the bar so that all the other women are as shit or worse than they are, so that they can stand out without putting in any effort.
Yeah.
So the irony is that they put in effort in order to lower the bar.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the same thing as here. And the thing with getting to a powerful position, being a CEO, is that a lack of remorse, lack of conscience, does help with that a lot. That's why we see a huge proportion and an overrepresentation of antisocial personality disorder, be it psychopathy or sociopathy as it's colloquially called, in those positions compared to the general population. Just like we have, like, you have what's the guess, like 2% in the general population, but we have about 50% in the prison population, and we have about a similar amount, I believe, in CEO and similar leadership populations. So that's an extreme overrepresentation. So you can assume that a woman that's successful probably has no conscience and is likely insane in some form or another. So why trust her? She got to that position likely because she was lying in the first place, like most of these people.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's the thing with the good leader is the rare animal.
Yeah. But yeah, I just like the fact that women don't like women who succeed. It's men's fault. I'm like, okay, fine, sure, go on then.
It makes me start to wonder. Maybe there is something to monarchy after all, because you might get a follow-up, a successor who didn't get the power through insanity, because you get it through succession. Like, maybe we'll something to think about.
Yeah,
I'm not a monarchist, not yet.
We've had enough of German royalty, so
okay.
I know.
Let's go.
Like the House of Hanover.
Girl boss was that by simply occupying the same positions as men, women could make things better for the world. And unfortunately, whatever individual successes high-profile girl bosses achieved didn't seem to change anything structurally.
Dude, I mean, woman. What the fuck are you talking about? Why would women make things better? All we've seen is that they've ruined the world even more so far, and now you bring us this wage gap bullshit again. That is like when you compare statistics with each other that do not match with each other. You're lying about statistics. Haven't we debunked this like 10 years ago? Fucking hell.
Oh, women don't care. Women don't know anything about facts and logic, because that would mean they'd be wrong all the time.
We have fucking look in Germany, we have fucking laws that you have to be paid the same money for the same work.
Yeah.
With like the only bonuses are like you were in this company for longer, so you get that as a bonus, disability shit, whatever else. These things. Bam. Okay. But the general, the basic payment is the fucking same.
Well,
anything else is illegal. If you notice that, you can go to what is it called, labor court, and sue your employer into the fucking ground, into oblivion. Right. Yet the leftist parties still put up their fucking election advertisement posters with the same wage for the same work shit. Like, bullshit. Just because you work in the same company doesn't mean that you're doing the same work. You sitting at your receptionist desk is not the same work as hauling giant boxes that are gonna break your fucking back back in the what's it called? Where you keep all the stuff.
Warehouse?
Yeah, in the warehouse. Like, that's not the same work. You're working for the same company, but it's not the same work. Being the CEO isn't the same work as being the fucking receptionist.
Yeah.
Being the lead character in a movie isn't the same as being the support character. So whoever plays the support character probably gets paid less.
Well, also there's that famous example of I remember reading this a while back. Like, people believe that back in the 1966 Batman TV show, what's his name, Burt? I forget Burt Ward, the guy that played Robin, was getting paid more than the actress who played Batgirl, and they found out that no, she was actually getting paid more than him. She was getting paid like $1,000 or something like that, or $500. He was only getting paid like $400. So
it's the wage gap is so. I mean, especially over here in the UK, it's so stupid because there's a minimum wage that you have to be paid, regardless. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, okay, you can't be paid less. It's set there for a reason. There's also equal pay. It's just the fact that, and this has been said so many times, women work less hours than men.
Yes.
Because men will take overtime, women will not. It's like my girlfriend's work.
Depends on the job.
Well, she gets paid more than her colleagues because she'll work 40 hours a week compared to 35, like the others do. She's the only woman who does it, so it's a bit like, well, yeah, that's why she's getting paid more.
Yeah, I know that in many German government secretary positions that the women are doing overtime because it's just so much work, and they're not always getting that paid out.
Well,
it just has to be done.
But what I'm trying to say is, men on average work longer for it, and the thing is, if it was really true that women are only paid 83 cents for every dollar, then why isn't all workforces just women? Because it'd be cheaper.
And why are they the main spending demographic?
Also, can I just say that this poor screen of this black woman, she does not look like a woman.
I don't know what it is. I don't know. I don't know what this person is, but I don't care for this argument either. If it's you reduce this down to the actual same work, same position, and by the hour, that's the relevant point.
Well, it's also based on how long you've been in that position.
Yeah, but I said that before. That's bonus stuff. But the basic pay you get for same position by the hour, this wage gap shit disappears. It poofs into nothingness.
So can I just notice something? This is a protest about Roe versus Wade.
Yeah, I see that the sign behind that woman says "No sex with men," and I can't read the rest of it. I see Roe, but I can't see the rest of the sign.
Yeah, Roe versus Wade protected. What the fuck? What? This is not what.
Yeah, and then they're holding up I think that's a picture of the woman there, maybe
in the background.
She came out with no, it was all a lie.
Yeah, she's now anti-abortion.
Yeah.
This is a really weird screen to like pause on, and
if everything the left says is a lie. We need something else. If you don't like what you see as or what you call the right wing, all right, there's a lot of corruption and bullshit going on there, no question about that. But the left is not the answer. You need something else. And you may need to start it. You may need to come up with ideas. And a lot of those will fail. A lot of the movements will die in the inception, but there needs to be something else that is not the left, that opposes whatever you think the right is.
Let's continue, because I just don't understand this part of the video now, because I don't see what Roe versus Wade, the pay gap, has to do with bad female leaders.
Yeah.
Well, feminism is basically bad female leaders organized.
Besides putting a woman on top. Sandberg is leaving Meta under scrutiny about whether she inappropriately used company resources to focus on building her own personal brand. Senator Kyrsten Sinema uses girl boss energy to attract fun headlines about herself as a disruptor, but she's largely channeled that energy into obstructing agendas for change, like when she voted down a motion for a $15 minimum wage.
Ms. Sinema, no.
And a whole series of other women CEOs have faced public fails and been criticized for fostering toxic work environments, in sharp contrast to their promises of being better.
CEO Steph Curry was going into Slack and on public
Just a couple months ago, you called everyone who criticized these characters, these women, for these exact things as misogynists.
Hold on.
What the fuck happened?
So, hold on. You're complaining about... So, they've complained about unrealistic, keeping women down in fiction, and yet they're now just reeling off real female CEOs.
Well,
who's right? Okay.
Give us the good examples. Who are your actual good examples of how female leaders should be?
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about, what was that female senator who's a Democrat who did not vote a certain way?
She's a Republican.
Sinema?
Yeah.
I thought she was Democratic.
No, she's Republican.
I've never even heard of her, to be perfectly honest.
If you watch Razor Fist, who I don't watch anymore since he blocked me, because I told him that having a beard wasn't girly. So, oh well. Anyway, she's pretending she's literally a rhino, but is really like a Democrat in Republican skin. And everything like that. So it was a bit of a surprise that she said no to this minimum wage thing. But
Republicans say no to a lot of things.
I can't really say.
I think the latest thing they said no to, which kind of pissed me off, was it was like a bill to do with like veterans, like military veterans, like getting them like proper care and health care and things like that. And all the Republicans said no to it.
Unless the thing is about that is it may have said it was a bill for that, but what's the ins and outs?
Right, but it's
because a lot of the time, the bills that get put forward, it'll say one thing, then when you read the paperwork, it's like this doesn't actually help out who it is.
Yeah,
but
I get that. It just hit me on like a personal level because my stepfather, he's a military veteran and. He served in like Vietnam, and he's like dying of like he was exposed to like Agent Orange over in Vietnam. So, and he claims he's like slowly dying from it. So that kind of hit me on like a personal level.
Oh yeah, I understand that. It's just one of those things where I've noticed recently. Yeah, there was Republicans saying no to a lot of things. But then reading up on them, it's a bit like I can see why they said no to something, and then what usually happens is they'll bring out a different bill which they'll say yes to, but they'll have penned together.
Especially this is not just the Republicans do it too once in a while, but the Democrats, which is a socialist party, I just repeat that so that it clicks with people, that it sticks. I mean. It's standard operation that they declare that they name something the Love and Peace Act, and inside all you find is communist bullshit that destroys liberty, destroys peace, goes to war, and just basically makes everyone a slave.
All right, here is Apple Bottom Jeans. Thank you, sir. Kyrsten Sinema is a effing rhino, and everyone in Arizona hates her. She's anti-$15 an hour, but she's pro-illegal immigration and voted for a bill making protecting your property with firearms illegal. Also, she was a member of the Communist Party. So
yeah, I remember Ray talking about that.
And why is she in the Republican Party? And why is she allowed to stay in there?
I just did a search of her. It says she's a member of the Democrat Party, so I don't know what's going on here.
Oh, okay.
Oh, right. She was part of the Republicans.
American politics is too weird. Every individual is too weird.
The thing is, you can keep. I'm assuming you can keep swapping.
The socialists keep doing these socialist communists keep doing these infiltration things.
Well, that's the thing.
And they do it individually.
Well,
they are not just as a big concerted effort, but they do it individually. Like, I'm gonna infiltrate the enemy party.
Well, these
turn
women
it around.
or these people who criticize these politicians, they're politicians. They vote on everything all the time, multiple times a day. No one's perfect in politics. They're doing their job, whatever their constituents think they should be doing. This is you don't just criticize someone. Oh, they voted this way, and then 2 seconds jump to a different topic without explaining what.
These things are two extreme topics. This is not raising this tax 1% and lowering the other 2%.
Yeah, I mean,
these are clear things that stand on principle.
Yeah, we just had a wage increase in Toronto or Ontario rather just last week, but that's like built into the rate of inflation, so it's not like anyone voted on it. It's just it has to happen. No one likes it.
Yeah.
So we're 50 cents up the minimum wage, and we're going to see what that does to purchasing power this week. So did people?
I'm going to make a guess, Maud. Nothing.
Probably not much. Yeah, unless you're going out to eat. So yeah. Anyway,
but we've now descended into all these bad real life CEOs, and it's a bit like, right, okay. And again, it's just like women complain about women making women look bad, men's fault. It's like,
all right.
How silly of me.
We're 9 minutes in. We can take a break. Do some more if you guys want. It's up to you guys.
I don't see them saying much more, but so I'm all right continuing.
Okay.
Let's just push through it.
A bit too intently and gleefully on fallen girl bosses, and the stream of depictions and media attention end up replicating the same misogyny we were trying to overcome in the first place.
No, you tell me where's the non-failing girl boss then, huh?
What's wrong with liking a character or disliking a character for failing? How does that make me hate women?
These are bad characters. If they fail or even get punished, all the better. That's the story we want to see. The bad guy getting punished. Now you wanted equal representation. Now you get equal representation with bad guys. Great. This is what you wanted. It's not misogyny. You called for this, and for 10 years you've cheered for it. All these amazing, strong female characters. Suddenly you realize, oh wait, they're all horrible.
I literally made the joke that this is women complaining to other women that are making women look bad, and it's men's fault. And within 10 seconds of me making that joke, they've literally said the exact same thing I joked about. These women on the take are so insane. I honestly cannot take anything they say seriously. They do not know what they want. They are perpetually angry at men, and they hate the fact that women aren't, as Whisp puts it, perfect, deities who are like untouchable. And it's you can feel that they're really angry that all these CEOs are failing in real life, because they're just like, oh great, misogyny has made these women fail. And it's like, no, these women themselves made themselves fail. That's it. There's nothing else.
The characters in House of Cards, they're all, I wouldn't say they're all corrupt, but that's the idea. They're all corrupt, power hungry, whether they're male or female, and you can depict them any way that the writer wishes if it's a compelling story. I don't know if you guys have watched House of Cards. It's like this narrator.
Nope.
Yeah, only did the first season, I think.
Yeah, the narrator is usually the main character. Like Kevin Spacey will just talk about life and whatever and what it means to be alive. And then they jump to his wife when he left the show, and now she's the main character. It's the same thing. She's a shark. She's just
psycho shit.
Yeah, it's this. It's like, yeah, that's what you do with stories like that, where the villain is the hero, and that's how it goes.
Yeah, and to what Hawk described here. Yeah, I think that the women here from the take are the distilled version of how the everyday manipulation and narcissistic gaslighting of women works. How they try to brainwash you every single day. These types of women, these are the bad women. They feel called out by these characters now. They realized they are these bad characters. They adore these bad characters, and they finally realize that, oh wait, people don't like that. That means they don't like us. That means that we have to distance ourselves from these characters now, so that people don't think that we are like them. When in reality, you just dig yourself deeper, because we have understood that you are just these women because you adore them.
And this is one of the reasons why these stories work, because we see, oh, this is a really bad case of someone getting their own way in a very nefarious, backstabbing, stepping on everyone's toes to get it. And it's like, oh, that's a bad person. We need stories like that. That's what we have fairy tales for, to tell us not to do bad things, because bad things happen to bad people. Mm-hmm. It's necessary, whether it's a modern adult fairy tale or a contemporary one like House of Cards, where it's like, holy shit, this is pretty much how the world works. I'm glad it's not that bad. And then we realize, no, it's a lot worse in reality. We just don't know anymore.
The problem is that they're so deluded they can't see themselves as anything but of what they want to be.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I just, like I say, I'm not, like, with this, it's like, I'm not angry at their opinions, because it's so laughable. It's like, okay, blame men, because that's all you're ever going to do. Forever and a day. It's men's fault that I'm a terrible person. Okay, that's fine. It's like, we don't care. We really don't.
Yeah, they could have made a video about why the villain is everywhere in stories. It's like, yeah, it's called stories. You need a villain. You can't.
Really, they should just make numerous videos called "Why We Hate Men" Part 257.
As you can see, the blonde female on the screen should be perfect, but they're not. A man did it that way. It's like, okay.
Even though a woman wrote this show and did the script, it's still men's fault, because a man got with this the writer's mum to create her, so it's all men's fault. It's like, yeah, sure, whatever, love. Have you tried the red wine?
In Silicon Valley have commented that they face even more intense scrutiny now, finding themselves constantly compared to the specter of Elizabeth Holmes. When done right, stories about flawed female leaders can hit on some important insights about why things go wrong. For example, because women are so often denied power, some may be willing to go further to hold on to it, or some feel they...
Wait, the Margaret Thatcher movie was an example of women going... What?
Oh, dear me.
It's just that it's the psychopaths that get through. It's not that they feel forced to do that. It's that it's the psychopaths who have no problem going further. That's what's happening.
Yeah, guys, when you talk about power in a Westminster parliamentary system, you're just like everyone else. They just elect you. Oh yeah, we like you the best to represent us in Parliament.
Yeah.
She's playing victim right now, saying that it's everyone's fault that she has to be evil to get power, because nobody's handing it to her on a silver platter. Like, can you imagine something more narcissistic to be said?
So the
I
reason
have to
why...
be evil because you didn't give me the power on a silver platter.
Maggie Thatcher's not evil. She just did stuff that
no.
the left didn't like.
Yeah, I'm not talking about Margaret Thatcher. I'm talking about the narrator here.
What I'm trying to say is that they mention Margaret Thatcher in this, and it's like, also she wasn't a bad leader until dementia hit her, and she was removed from power because she couldn't lead anymore. I'm like, I don't know why they've.
I didn't even know that part.
All right, here's the Corporal for the 2. Thank you, sir. Cinema. Sorry. The actual person Cinema is a Dem. Okay, the media or Shapiro call her a moderate. All right, I have no idea. I don't follow American politics very well.
Neither do I.
Yeah. Anyway, these are the good examples. Devil Wears Prada, the Iron Lady.
Hold on. Tyler Preston, don't feminists completely hate Margaret Thatcher? Yeah. They hate her because she actually did stuff.
And not just that. When she did get into power, the feminists wanted to claim her, but she publicly stated that she despises the feminists and that she got into her position because of her own competence, that she got into her position not because of the feminists, but despite them.
Yeah, she was for family values and strong independent nations and all this beautiful stuff that any typical person in that party at the time would have said. So.
Yeah, and that early you should have already been able to tell that feminism is a cult. It wants to claim every woman for itself, and everybody who dares to be competent without it or despite it is a traitor, is evil, has to be fought and destroyed, which is we get back to Mussolini, by Mussolini's definition of fascism, actually fascist. Everything has to be within the movement, nothing outside the movement, nothing against the movement. Margaret Thatcher was not part of feminism, she was outside of feminism, and she was against feminism. Therefore, she had to be attacked by feminism.
So what you're saying, Whisp, is we should do violence against women. Okay.
Let's continue.
Need to become cruel, hard, or ruthless in order to overcome structural obstacles.
With all due respect, sir, I have done battle every single day of my life.
The Crown offers a three-dimensional exploration of how British Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher's conservative, anti-feminist stances were partially formed by complex factors like her class background and having to constantly watch her back with the male politicians around her.
The way those men patronize me, lecture me, squires and grandees.
Upper-class bastards.
The Dropout illuminates how Holmes' case is incredibly complicated.
That makes it sound like she adheres to feminist values after all.
Don't worry. It's just a line from the movie they cherry-picked.
Well, they cherry-picked it for that reason.
Yeah.
Because they can fit it into their narrative.
They cherry-picked a thing about Margaret Thatcher in a program about Queen Elizabeth II.
Yeah.
They literally cherry-picked something about Margaret Thatcher in a program about the ruler of Great Britain, Queen Elizabeth II. Right, okay.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
It's clear that she did face sexism and at the same time was able to benefit from being a pretty young woman who could charm investors and board members.
The sexism made her evil.
Yeah, so you've literally...
So she's again a victim. You turn the perpetrator, the con man, the tyrant, into she's actually a victim. That's why she did the bad things. We have to forgive her. This is communist logic. Oh, we can't put them to the gulag. The real criminals. We can't put them to the... They're just victims of circumstance.
This is the Elizabeth Holmes movie right here, I believe, where she charmed all the angel investors to give her millions and millions of bucks. It's like, yeah.
He scammed and stole money from people. But sexism, of course, yeah. No, overtake it.
Hell.
She actually, I don't know if you guys watched that. I think Whisp might have watched it, but she changed her voice to sound more masculine.
Yeah, no, she didn't.
No, I haven't.
Yeah. It was.
I remember. I think I remember that from the clips I saw of her.
Yeah, so she had all these feminine charms, but she didn't do that. She was more masculine to talk to these people to get money from them.
These people would literally try and somehow make out that serial child killer Myra Hindley was did all that because of patriarchy, and she was actually the victim because men bad and everything like that. And it's just we get it. You don't like men. Whoop-de-doo. But I'm just laughing now the fact that they've literally mentioned this Elizabeth Holmes a lot in this, because she really was one of those a really bad female leader, because she was just a con artist.
We could say. I don't know if you guys know anything about investing, but Cathie Wood's always popping up, like Musk is always popping up about crypto and this and that. And you know what? Sometimes her suggestions don't make it the same way Warren Buffett's suggestions don't make it. Because everyone's suggestions this year have gone down. So is she a scam artist? Is she no, of course not. That's just
the problem is with this Elizabeth Holmes thing is she really was, because the stuff that she was doing. Well, you know what I mean? There's a reason she went to court.
Yeah, exactly.
And everything like that. I mean, thank God Amber Heard's not in charge of anything. Otherwise, she'd been on this.
Oh fuck!
Makeup. She's going to start a $1 billion makeup line. Her only option is to sell makeup. I don't know.
No, it was a patriarchy that caused her dog to step on a bee. So it was men's fault.
Okay, let's keep going.
Influenced by successful male examples into believing that selling a big idea before she had the science was just good business. And because people saw her as an inexperienced little girl, she felt she had to hide it when she was out of her depth. Yet, while all of that's true, none of it excuses the clear ethical transgressions she as an individual chose to engage in. And she also got ahead by buying into the whole pernicious girl boss myth that feminism is fundamentally about your own self-interest.
What?
The dropout cuts to the heart of
That's not a myth. That is what feminism is advertising, you fucking propagandist lying fuckhead.
I really don't think this is part
That's
of
all
her
they
persona.
say. That's all feminism says, that it's all about you. You fucking asshole.
I'm sorry, but we're now getting very close to feminism. Men cause it, and that's the problem.
All the people she's talking to are men because they have all the money. Therefore, it's men causing the problem, and she has to use.
No, but it's just like feminism. Feminism was made up by men, and that's why it's fake. It's like, okay,
really,
all of feminism is a myth. It's like, right, okay, you're completely attacking. No.
Yes. Okay.
that girl boss mythos in its first episode, when Elizabeth naively assumes that Phyllis Gardner, a female professor at Stanford, will be eager to help her just by virtue of their shared gender. But Gardner is one of the few people who sees from the start that Holmes is trying to skip ahead to major success before putting in the necessary time for study and research.
I just thought, as a woman... Well, as a woman, let me explain something to you. You don't get to skip any steps. You have to do the work.
Still, while everyone loves a good
That's
rise
true.
and fall story, why aren't we collectively giving the same level of attention to the stories of the women who do get it done?
No. The fucking activists you keep showing us, all these feminists, they all want to skip ahead. That's all they ever do. It's all fraud and scam. Look at the fucking Black Lives Matter activist bullshit.
Yeah.
That was just scam. That was just scam artistry.
She just jumps topics. It's like, well, here's all these examples. Well, why don't we have other examples of the exact opposite topic? It's like, because we're not supposed to.
The clip literally proves the point. You have to do the work. None of these activists do the work. That's the problem.
The thing is, what makes me laugh about it is they do try and make these women successful, but you've complained about all of them.
Or tried to defend them.
You know what I mean? It's like
your shitty movement has created this type of woman in the extreme way that we know it now. That's always propping her up. That's making her what's the word? I don't have the right word. Unattackable by criticism. Because it's all deflected by, it's just misogyny, it's just racism. And then it turns out, they're actually incompetent, manipulative, psycho assholes.
Yeah.
All of them. Because that's the woman you are propping up. And now you sit here realizing that that's probably what you've done all this time and that you are just like them. And you want to distance yourself from it now. Because you see that it's all going up in flames. We're right now in the time where a lot of IT companies, journalism in big quotation marks companies are cleaning out their staff because they realize they're out of venture capital. Yeah. And so they get rid of all these activist types that are just this crap, just this useless garbage. That's nothing but a parasitic drain on every company they get into.
Just saying something in the chat. Copper out. Don't contact Razor Fist about unblocking me on Twitter. Don't do that.
Yes, do it. Yes. No, yes, do it.
No, don't.
Yeah.
Because
You
he
just
decided
block
to
you.
do it. Yeah, he'll just don't do it. Don't contact other creators, especially ones I'm not interested in talking to.
Okay.
But,
people just messaging him, unblock Hawk.
What?
Yeah, but I'm not even called Hawk on Twitter anymore because I got banned.
All right. Anyway, we got 3 minutes left. Hopefully they're going to have some ad for something, whatever.
3 minutes.
I just want to see more of him like completely destroying.
Oh, finally!
The entire idea of the actual good leader.
Here we go.
During the last
stories,
3 minutes.
Yeah, the stories we like. These are good. Okay, sure.
Finally.
The stories that work, period.
Yeah.
This primarily negative focus on female leaders is especially frustrating because many of the major historical and contemporary examples of female
who was
rulers
that?
are in fact positive examples. And we can see
Wait,
this in...
No.
Doctor Who?
Oh God, no. So who was?
Yeah, I don't know.
Matthias, tell us. Who is this?
Which ancient
I
queen?
swear to God on the right, if that's Boadicea, I'm going to laugh my fucking head off.
That's what my thought. That's what
That's
my
a
first
chariot.
thought
That's
was.
like ancient Rome or something.
Oh, well, yeah, that's who Boadicea fought against, or Boudica, as it's pronounced in certain places. I don't know who the on the left is. That could be anybody.
Byzantine.
I don't know who that broad
Yeah,
is.
no idea.
All right.
But these other ones, like in the next couple of clips, who's that fat black woman? I don't know who that is.
While we wait
historical and
for
contemporary
Matthias.
examples.
Yeah, who are these? Anyone? Oh, that's probably a congresswoman or a senator. What the hell's her name?
So this is, by the way, what they put next to the Human Rights Campaign, the logo, this equal sign, that is a flag sign for communism, because that's about everything being equal. That's the equity bullshit. They have the communists have infiltrated the UN to the point that they want to rewrite now. They've openly stated it already. They want to rewrite the Human Rights Charter. Because when you look at the Human Rights Charter and you compare it to the openly stated goals and as well as the very actions of socialism, they are at odds with every single human right in the Human Rights Charter. So them stating now that they want to change them means that they feel powerful enough to try that. And
someone's saying that the black woman, Stacey Abrams.
Who's that?
Is it the black woman who's Stacey Abrams?
I don't know. I don't know.
On screen. I'm
I don't
asking
know
you.
who Stacey Abrams is.
I just know she was on.
Yeah, it is
a bunch of news stations saying stupid shit, but this happens every day. So
candidate for Georgia governor. Also, the person on the right looks like a bloke.
Yes,
not a woman.
That's due to the nose and Neanderthal ridge and the giant chin. Just keeps going.
Not as bad as the Crimson Chin, but sure.
Yeah. On top of that, by the way, some of you may remember there was an anti-communist My Little Pony episode where
the season 5 premiere. I still remember.
Yes. Where it was, I think, a double episode or something.
Yep.
And where there was this little village that looked like some decrepit western town in the desert, and all the ponies were miserable because their leader, the villain, had decided that the things that make everyone special are in their cutie marks are what brings about misery in society. So everybody should instead be the same. So the cutie marks were all replaced with the equal signs. And everybody was just feeling like shit because nobody could excel at anything. And yeah, so this is actually using the equal sign as your symbol. And I've seen this as far back as, I believe, 2012. This is what communists use. I've been when I was active in politics, in party politics, the communists that infiltrated our party. Some of them use the equal sign as their Twitter icons as well. So this is nothing good. This is not a good signal. This is here, you know, they're infiltrating hard now.
All right, well, these are supposedly good examples. I don't know why they're showing real people as opposed to real stories or stories that have good examples of fictional women being whatever.
Someone,
We don't know who they are either.
Someone said the person on the right is Brianna Wu. Yeah.
That might fit, yeah. Then it explains why it looks like
Let's try this again.
Many of the major historical and contemporary examples.
That's a good-looking Brianna Wu. Brianna Wu is pretty. Ugh. But okay.
Of female rulers are in fact positive examples, and we can see this in plenty of stories about historical women leaders. Depictions of Queen Elizabeth II emphasize her being grounded and committed to her duty as the queen.
And was made even worse by the
My
agenda.
whole life, whether it be long or short, shall be devoted to your service.
The Crown shows many of the ways Elizabeth had to navigate double standards and higher expectations for women, but
she's a queen.
Whoa, okay. No, she... double standards for women. Right, okay, she's the queen who was universally loved in her own country.
Expectations?
She's the top of the food chain. She can do whatever the hell she wants.
Yeah, it was. In fact, she also changed the rule book for royalty. So everything that you see the royalty do now, she created. So she wasn't bound by fucking anything. She literally went, no, I'm doing it my way, and we're going to make the royalty something to be proud of. And it's like, right, okay. Which is why, you know, there's a lot more stricter things with what they can and can't do. So,
when you're in charge, you could do. This is a good example of a woman. It's like, yeah, you're.
It's amazing. It's amazing how American women are trying to tell the Brits that they were being mean to their queen.
Okay, Matthews just came back to me about the paints from the beginning of the segment. He says it was Empress Theodora on the left, and he thinks it's Saint Olga on the right.
I am not familiar with those.
Saint Olga, yeah, I don't know that.
Still don't know who those people are.
Yeah. Okay. Don't worry. Cool. Let's keep going.
Yep.
Still managed to pull it off.
The trouble is, I have the sort of face that if I'm not smiling, and everyone says, "Oh, isn't she cross?"
Numerous films and shows spotlight how Queen Elizabeth I broke the mold as an exceptionally accomplished queen. Meanwhile, the Great offers a...
well, not really. The reason why Queen Elizabeth I was popular is because they had Bloody Mary before that, and she was just chopping people's heads off.
Hence the drink.
Yeah.
But why? Where's the mint come from?
Where's the what?
The mint.
The mint, from the mint tree that was used to make the axe to chop people's heads off.
I don't believe that.
Well, she's comparing documentaries or dramas to anti-historical comedies called The Great. So.
She's comparing Elizabeth Holmes to Queen Elizabeth II.
Highly divergent, stylized version of Catherine the Great to paint an aspirational picture of an idealistic ruler who is passionate about wanting to rule well. The actual history...
It's a comedy. It's almost a farce at times.
Hold on. Are they now complaining about the fact that someone made an idealistic version of Catherine the Great when in reality she wasn't that great? Which is what they've been complaining about. Women, what do you want? Oh, they're showing these women in a bad light. They should probably, make them better. Okay, this show makes this woman a lot better than her real life counterpart. Oh no, it's wrong. It's not true. What do you want?
It's a satire. It's supposed to make you laugh. Like, what is this?
Yeah, but that's what I mean. It's like, what?
The moment you'll get a woman that's actually fulfilling them impossible standards, the contradictory standards, they would complain that, she's setting unrealistic standards that nobody can achieve. Well, she achieved that, this hypothetical woman that did that. These women are impossible to please.
Yeah,
they don't know what they do not know. They do not. It's not that they don't know what they want. It's that they don't even understand what they want, what they claim to want. They don't understand that they want contradictory things.
I think they enjoy being upset at something, which is why I'm just laughing, because it's like no matter
And then
what
I
you
wonder
do,
why-
they'll all be angry.
Well, it's
It's
very,
like,
And I
it's
wonder
very
why people
possible.
aren't taking them seriously because they want contradictory things. Like, shut up, you stupid child.
Yeah,
Grow the
it's-
fuck up.
It's very possible they're just showing modern stuff that they don't know any better. That's, oh, this is a woman main character. Let's put that on the screen. Yeah, that's good.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
They could have shown Blossom. They could have shown other 90s, 80s sitcoms that people loved. Cheers was a great example. Everyone loved Cheers for all the female and male characters there and all their personalities and quirks. There's all kinds of great women in stories and movies and TV that are good. They're fun. They're entertaining. What exactly is this girl boss role? That is it like the accomplished doctor? Is it the lawyer? Like the politician?
The girl boss, and they didn't really want it to be like, but how it's turned out, the girl boss is the smug, self-entitled, arrogant woman who nobody likes.
Do they want like a female
but the story
Marcus
makes
Aurelius? Like, what do they want exactly? This idealized female leader?
They can't tell you.
I don't
Because
know.
it keeps changing every fucking week.
Smud, they just went against feminism. What do women want? They literally went, feminism, bad. It's like, okay. And they're like, yeah, but we still want feminism. It's like, oh, yeah, okay. We could never please you.
All
Okay.
right, let's just keep going.
The story of Catherine's reign is complicated, and the show's Catherine certainly isn't perfect either. She's pulled between her personal idealism and the lures of pragmatism, cynicism, and revenge. But overall, The Great creates a version of Catherine who embodies the potential that women have to rule and usher in progress.
Most women die with an unsaid better idea in their hearts.
Many historical female rulers were royals who took power by virtue of their birth and rose to meet the moment, rather than campaigning to prove merit in advance. The fact that powerful and competent women have
Campaigning to prove merit in advance? What does that mean?
No.
That's called campaigning, I guess.
I think
Hillary
it's
Clinton's campaigning merit in advance then involves the destruction of Libya.
No.
Point where you have constant war in it and slavery, where you can now buy black women on the slave market for $16 a piece.
Wait, hang on. They're talking about women are only put in there because of, like their family connections and everything like that. It's like, well, Hillary Clinton campaigned. I'm like, yes, Hillary Clinton, the wife of the former president of the United States of America. Yes.
I don't know the current prices due to all this inflation stuff, but that's what a couple of years ago the price was.
I just can't believe that they'd even use Clinton, considering the fact that her husband was literally the president of the United States, and all her power comes from that.
I may just be drained or overloaded or all of it and tired. But are they painting Clinton are they using her as a positive or negative example?
They're using her as a example of a woman having to campaign because she has to work for her position. So
is that bad?
I don't know. I don't know what this video wants anymore.
Yeah. Let's just go.
frequently gained their position by accident is reflected in fictional American presidents on TV shows like Commander-in-Chief, Quantico, and Madam Secretary, all of whom take the job when the male president is incapacitated or forced to resign. Plenty of countries in Europe and around the world have elected women to their top jobs, yet we seem further than ever from seeing a
and they're all terrible.
Yes.
I'm sorry, but they literally like, oh, you bring in like the Indian leaders. They literally like have genocides and stuff.
Rashida Tlaib is she's an insane communist.
Yeah, but
she's
it's
not
like
a good person.
But like,
what you call every time you use the word progress, it means towards communism, which means not towards utopia, as you madly believe. It means towards the apocalypse.
It's like, all right, there's like Britain had Theresa May as a female leader. She was terrible and was kicked out. Like we've got a female prime minister now. She's still terrible. It's like, okay, just because she's got a vagina doesn't mean she's great. Yeah. They're usually really, really bad.
Angela Merkel was terrible for 16 fucking years. You know why she keeps getting elected? Because we don't elect her.
Yeah.
We have absolutely no power over the top seats in our parliament. What we change is the composition of the parties, and what is affected by that is the back seats.
Yeah.
Those get changed. Those get switched out. People nobody fucking knows.
It's like and bringing up some of these female leaders. There's like, especially in like the Indian subcontinent. Dear Lord, don't bring up like Mahatma Gandhi's daughter. She was like one of the worst people ever. The most peaceful man alive, well, to ever exist, quotation marks, his daughter was just terrible. Like, she nearly caused wars between India and Pakistan. It's like, okay.
God.
Right, cool. Also, I've just realised that comment, stop wearing red lipstick, it makes her mouth bigger than it is. It's like,
It's
okay, so...
What's the problem?
I don't know.
It's just criticizing the. It's someone criticizing the makeup. Oh no! Oh, 6 likes. Oh, we're gonna die. Oh, the misogyny.
Well, 6 people agreed on it. That you better do what they say then.
Huh?
That's just the patriarchy.
Her soul will be scarred by this forever. The poor woman.
Anyway, finish this fucking video.
Complaining about the looks of women is what holds women leaders back.
All right.
Women take over the White House in America.
Replenish the Social Security Trust Fund.
Many, if not most, fictional female presidents are loose analogs to Hillary Clinton, because for years, Clinton was the only female politician even imaginable as a potential president. And
Sarah Palin?
Oh, God.
Yeah. And this is what I'm missing. They're not using the representation of Sarah Palin in Iron Sky in this video at all. She was president in that movie.
Can I just say something?
And fought space Nazis.
Only one person thought Hillary Clinton would ever be president, and that was Hillary Clinton, right?
Yeah.
Everyone else just went.
Yeah, you're skimming. These are skipping over the fact that Hillary Clinton is a fucking genocidal warhawk.
Yeah.
She's not just your average communist. She is a genocidal warhawk.
She steals money from hurricane victims.
She's destroyed nations without even being in office.
Yeah, but you know what the hilarious thing is? Hillary Clinton is only there because her husband was the president of the United States.
More or less, yes.
It's the same with Biden.
Yeah, so it's just pretty much like, oh well, Queen Elizabeth II was only in power because she was put there because of her family. It's like, but Hillary Clinton's completely different. It's like, no, she's exactly the same. It's like, I don't think Americans realize that you may have got rid of the royals, but certain families have filled that void.
You're still ruled by dynasties.
Yeah, and that's the thing. So, I mean, just imagine, if George Bush, the first one, had won 2 terms, his son could easily have run after him, and it could have been like a succession.
Yeah. And otherwise, had Clinton won, you would have Bush, Clinton, Bush,
then
Obama, Clinton.
Yeah.
That's like decades of being ruled by 2 families.
Well, it's even worse in Canada, guys, so...
You know. Oh, yeah, exactly.
Oh, God.
That's the thing, and it's just a bit like... I don't know why... I know why they're portraying it, because Hillary Clinton is obviously their go-to. They obviously like her because she represents everything that these women want to be. So,
yeah.
Okay.
Hillary Clinton is the negative stereotype of the girl boss that they complained about all this time, now that they wanted to distance themselves from. Mm-hmm. That's what Clinton is. She's an absolutely evil psychopath who schemes and kills if necessary, and probably if not necessary.
I like how all the attacks on Trump are like he's a creepy man. And you just look at any time Joe Biden does anything with people, it's just like, wow.
Yeah, that's agreeable. I mean, I'm willing to agree.
It's not even Joe Biden anymore.
Well, I don't think it's because like. Well, the whole Trump thing, it's not because he's a creep, it's because he's a fucking idiot.
It's because he was a part of the establishment, so he every bad thing of him.
And by the way, I'm not advocating for Biden.
Gets dissected and blown out of proportion. All these other people do just as many stupid things.
Like, I just the problem is whenever anyone says anything about Trump, I'm just like, I really don't care, because the Americans voted box Biden in, and it's like, if being an idiot was so like such a bad thing and you didn't want it, you've literally like elected the giga idiot. It's like, you cannot get any worse than like a literal corpse.
That's what I just said.
Yeah, like the guy is. I mean, the guy was trying to find a dead Congresswoman a couple of
the best quote I've ever heard. The best quote I've ever heard when it comes to American politics was the comedian Louis Black, and he was talking about the election between Bush and Al Gore, and he said it was like deciding between two bowls of shit. The only difference was the smell.
Yeah, but it's just one of the things like. Anything anyone brings against Trump, it's like Joe Biden, and it's like there's nothing. Any complaint that you can throw at Trump, it's like Joe Biden's like 100 times worse in everything.
Yeah, no, you got like, 4 years of Weekend at Bernie's.
Yeah, and that's it.
There's a movie I haven't heard about in a long time.
Well, it's kind of funny because being a Canadian, you see like people reporting on Trump's tweets back in the day. It's like, oh, what, he said something crazy, and then, but nowadays, it's like you see Biden do crazy shit and try and say a word, and you're like, oh my god, is this real? That's not a joke. That's not like deep fake. No, that's real. He acts like that.
Yeah, it's insane. He stands awkwardly on stage after he's finished the speech.
Yeah, he doesn't know where to go.
You're like,
really? He doesn't speak complete sentences.
Yeah. Imagine he was a Republican. How they'd
love him.
The big media would be tearing him apart.
No, the Republicans would love him.
No, that's not what I'm saying. If he was Republican, how CNN, MSNBC, all this.
Oh yeah, they'd be tearing him apart. Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. But since he's a Democrat, they're not touching him. Yeah. They're covering for him.
Anyway,
it's insane. It's insane. And what this all looks to me now that we've talked about this part, is that it seems like we just got a worse version of monarchy with what we call democracy, the version of democracy we have in many of our countries. It just looks like a shittier version of monarchy.
Yeah.
Because with monarchy, you at least have the accountability that you know who the fuck's responsible, and if he's messing up too much, well, he's losing his head. What's now? Yeah. Nobody's responsible. It's always somebody else.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, let's keep going. Here is a super chat I missed from Caporal. Women were put here to torment us, Pandora's box. I don't know about that one.
I think they're aliens who just want to eat our livers.
That's a bit complicated. Okay, that's a bit more complicated, but we'll just continue on the video. And
you could
say that's a video for another time.
You could say feminism came from Pandora's box. I'll agree with you there.
Oh no! The thing is, though, there was hope in Pandora's box. If you ever get into a woman's box, there's no hope.
All right.
The hope is masculinity to balance it out.
Okay, here we go.
After Clinton's 2016 electoral loss, many people seemed to decide the prospect of electing a female president was doomed. So now we're in a post-Hillary, post-girl boss, post-lean-in moment.
Like, why do you even need that? Why is it so important that your main leader has a snatch instead of a dick?
Also,
why is that relevant? Don't you? The first thing I want about my leader is to be fucking competent, responsible, accountable, honest, which seems to be the most insane bar,
and not be dead going into office.
and maybe that's just a bonus, and not be a pedophile.
And not be dead.
That's actually a bit too much there. Yeah.
No, that'll be the next presidential candidate.
Yeah, the most important thing to these psycho women trying to gaslight us about women from the take is that the most important attribute that I want about the leader is that it's a woman.
Yeah. But question: who are these other two women?
Who cares?
I don't fucking know.
Where from here? Part of the solution might be avoiding our instinct to lionize people who hold power simply because they might be a good example, and then setting up the inevitable disappointment when they don't turn out to be a perfect savior of humankind. There are clearly effective and
that mime. She's been done for genocide. Literally, was it Myanmar? Was it Myanmar?
Myanmar.
Yeah, she's been done for genocide.
Yeah.
She genocided people.
But she's a powerful woman.
Yeah, but she's literally in prison now for genociding people of her own nation. Look it up.
But she's a strong female leader.
Okay.
That's
at
insane.
least on the same
That's
level as
insane.
male ones. But if we interrogate the nature of power itself, the truth is, there might not be such a thing as a totally good ruler at all.
Oh my god.
The power isn't the issue. It's the person who is it.
Now we go into relativization. There's no such thing as a good ruler.
All leaders
so
are
it's
bad.
not so bad if I genocide people. See, Hawk, how that works?
All hierarchies are bad, guys. There's no way around it. Doesn't matter.
It's simply impossible to be a good ruler. So it's okay that the Myanmar woman genocided her people. She's still a strong female leader.
The whole system is corrupt, guys. There's nothing you can do. It's like, what? What kind of conclusion was that? After all this, why the bad female leaders everywhere?
It's Chinatown, Jake.
Yeah, this is like saying, the whole system doesn't work. It produces bad people, and you're like, well, what the hell does women have to do with that?
And this relativization argument is essentially, since it's impossible to achieve, I shouldn't even need to try, so I can screw with my morals. I don't need to have morals. I can be the psychopath girl boss that in the beginning of the video I said I acknowledged as a bad person.
Yeah.
But now she with that she through the back door justifies. Oh, that's actually good. That's actually okay to do.
Well,
don't judge me. Don't judge me for genocide.
Now you have the general opinion that most people who don't vote say, well, it doesn't really matter what we vote for, whether the guy gets in or not. They're not going to do much. They're not going to change much unless they do something stupid or crazy, which I don't know how you gauge that unless you're talking about the Green New Deal or whatever happened in the 1930s. This is all just relative to, just don't worry. It doesn't matter. Who cares? Don't get involved. Don't do anything. Don't try and change things. Don't try to help people. Don't put your money where your mouth is. It's like, okay. It all means nothing. It's all bad.
Evil.
Yeah, this is not... what the hell kind of an ending is this?
Let's see what she actually says in her final take.
30 seconds of thank you for listening to our crazy ramblings. It had no point.
Yes.
Life sucks. You're going to die, and it's
let's
painful.
Listen to a super insanity.
Okay.
Wait, that was it?
That was it.
Thanks for watching The Take. Make sure to subscribe.
No.
And let us know what you want The Take.
Memes. Done.
No, go away.
Memes.
Evil women. Evil
What a weird...
women.
Hi, guys. We're so happy we made this video about bullshit. Yay.
There's plenty in that today. Yay.
All right. We got some memes from yesterday. Oh, so someone made an animated GIF of some of the Gartic phone experiences we had. That was the good one.
Yours and Abby's.
Yeah, this is so funny. I just had 3 different colored balls stacked together, and it's like the second one perfect. Matthias did it perfectly. And then we got to Gluttonous Caterpillar. And then I don't know what the hell it is.
Hulkapede, I guess.
Hulkapede, yeah. I don't know what you call it.
Hulkapede.
It's so funny.
Oh yeah, Dutch 9/11. What the hell are you thinking?
Wait, you got the task for shit app, and you didn't just paint the YouTube logo.
Well, I like the Dutch or the windmills.
I'm disappointed.
The two windmills on fire.
Mike Testa got shit ass.
Yeah, Mike is a very strange artist. He draws things. I don't know what they are. They're scribbles. I don't know what they mean. To contemplate what he's trying to say in that game.
Again, someone confused the board cube with the Matrix.
Oh, that was amazing. That was absolutely hilarious.
That was a great drawing.
It was so good. We're like, how did we get to the Borg? From an AI drawing pictures to the Borg.
He's like, let's see, I'm seen from the Matrix. I'm just like, my dude.
Yeah, that was great. All right, teenage girls with no understanding of politics be like, what? The establishment sucks? Okay.
Yeah.
Bitch, you literally support the political party with a history of warmongering and civil rights abuses. Okay, well.
Yeah, that is the establishment.
Pick a party. Yeah.
Based.
Reclaim Constantinople. Turk Roach. Austrian painter did nothing wrong. Europa. It is as I suspected. Lives in Sao Paulo, Brazil. Okay. Oh dear! From now on, I'll be the only one posting these comments from videos.
Free, only free. That's good.
Very topical, especially with the absurd criticism Finland's Prime Minister Sanna Marin is receiving for attending a party. I've scoured the coverage, and she wasn't even poorly behaved, just singing and dancing with her friends. It seems our culture is all too ready to unduly criticize young female leaders.
Ah, yes, attending the party during the coup lockdowns when no one was allowed to have parties. This is how you lie by omission.
Whatever happened to that Ukrainian female prime minister? Is she in jail still, I think?
Yeah.
She was adored by the people, and then she got in jail.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember the story, but I guess Ukraine has other problems now.
Uh-huh.
All right. Please make a video about how psychotic male corporate frauds get celebrated in the media through movies and how the movies try to elicit sympathy for these characters.
No, we don't.
What are you talking? You mean like
this is
Steve Jobs?
This is a sarcastic comment.
Okay.
I hope so.
This is sarcasm.
As a woman who's had a girl boss from hell, I can't sympathize. These women are so dog-eat-dog and will step on those under them to impress the men over them. The constant need to prove their worth is a toxic desperation that makes any one man or woman a bad leader. We are all responsible for our own healing, and that responsibility triples once we are in a position of power. What?
Oh.
I have to heal myself 3 times as much when I'm in power.
No, the responsibility.
Oh, sorry. Lost the verb. All right. Me carefully researching women's history so I can be more accurate with my misogyny.
Yep.
Yeah, it's surprisingly when you can speak from substance, it's always so much better.
Yeah, there's no escaping the misogyny, guys. Every time you do, it's always there. The best female leaders legacy can think of, but they're all evil.
Rita was awesome. Come on. The actress is she had so much fun, and she's still going to cons and giving signatures.
Yes, I am racist, sexist, misogynist. Thanks for noticing. Okay. Women written by men. Okay. Teenage Robot, She-Hulk, and Empowered. Women written by women, and they're dancing in She-Hulk, I think. Twerking.
Yeah. I wouldn't call that dancing.
Okay.
I've invented
and that's like the end, and that's the end credit sequence, by the way, too.
Oh,
the after credit sequence. Yeah.
So there's what's her name from Better Call Saul, I think.
Kim Wexler.
Yeah. Look, I don't care if your dick is small, but it makes me feel insecure when you call it small, Jimmy. What?
Yeah, it's a joke, but she's got a small penis.
Har har. Woman is such a pathetic creature. Oh.
Yep.
Me, when,
This is true.
women, girls, I hate girls, I'm a girl. Hater, I punch women in the face.
I don't understand.
What is going on?
No,
it's Mango. It's weeb, so it's fine.
They don't.
They're always lesbians. Oh, what?
Okay, women.
If women are always right, how do lesbians settle arguments?
I can't post a picture of Devil Lady from the manga because it's not safe for work. So here's the anime instead. Gona Guy can write women better. Really? Gona Guy. Huh. Cool. Very cool.
Oh, and to answer that question about how lesbians settle arguments, violently. That's how they usually do it.
A woman moment where she falls over, I think. Okay, well, it's snowy and it's not unexpected, so.
Yeah, also has crazy eyes.
Oh, yeah, okay, this is pretty much every meme. Gotta have that one. You think you have it so easy. If I was catcalled on the streets and I have incompetent men explain my area of expertise, that's why I do everything infinitely better than you. Oh, how they massacred such a model. It brings a tear to a goddess like myself. Those are obviously his characters. I have no... Wait, no, those aren't his characters. Those are Hawkwoman and Storm. And... Oh, wait, some of them are his, aren't they? I can't tell.
No, the one on the far left is the girl, the teenage robot. And I don't recognize the two in the middle.
Yeah. Could be She-Hulk. I can't say.
Well, no, She-Hulk is the one on the upper left. Saying, oh, you have it so easy. That's her. Her
really?
human form, sorry. That's her human form.
Yeah. Interesting. I have not watched the show. I can't tell you.
Yeah.
You're not missing out on anything.
Yeah. If the crown is on her head, then I say off with it. Okay. Show your artwork. There you go, Legacy. I made these cabinets out of misogyny wood. I think you mean mahogany wood. Silence hole. Har. Silly string, serious string. Ooh, yeah. Begone. Holy shit! What am I watching?
I've seen clips from that anime. I don't know the name of it.
Yeah.
It reminds me of another anime that I also can't remember the name of.
It's not the one with the Taiga girl, a little tiny girl whose nickname is Taiga? Okay.
No. I was thinking of the one who keeps clubbing the main character to death and then revives him again right afterwards all the time.
Okay.
Some very bloody comedy.
Free Fire hoodie, no headlights, riding in the favela.
Yeah.
Tranny in the backseat. Such is the life of the Brazilian. Am I supposed to be envious of this first world because I'm not?
Oh, there's a follow-up to this. That's surprisingly wholesome.
Ooh, yeah. Gonna have to go ahead and sort of disagree with you there. Kings of Tangents. There's Wisp and Hawk.
Yep.
Discworld book Word Sisters, parody of Shakespeare plays, mostly Macbeth.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
That's pretty cool.
That is very elaborate. Yeah.
That's the old Kid B art.
To the Europeans, how accurate is this? I will make you.
I will make United European Army that
rivals United States.
United States
Rivals.
Rival with an E. Where are you going? I've seen this before. I'm leaving. You're not supposed to. Fuck your shit and fuck the EU. I'm leaving. It was your idea, but I'll get out. Was it England's idea? I don't think so.
No, it wasn't. We actually weren't even allowed in. The French kept us out. Charles de Gaulle literally said that the British weren't allowed to do it because Churchill wouldn't let him liberate Paris during the war. The man was so petty. Because we joined the EU in 1973, and it was set up straight after the war. But the sentiment's correct. I see. The Brits have seen the Germans create a united Europe, so we're not dealing with it.
All right, I'm not going
to. And you're completely right. And thanks, Joe Crazy. The anime I was referring to was Dokoro-chan.
I'm not going to play the Blackadder clip, but you guys.
We will get copyrights, but yeah, definitely watch it.
Check it out. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah.
I believe you find life such a problem because you think there are the good people and the bad people, said Vetinari. You are wrong, of course. There are always and only the bad people, but some of them are on opposite sides.
Yeah.
Saint Olga. Yes. Oh, wow, look at that. 1879. Wow. Married in 903 to Prince Igor I of Kievan. She was a cruel and barbarous woman. She scalded her husband's murderers to death in 945 and murdered hundreds of their followers until she was baptized. Oh, she found Jesus.
Obviously a saint, yes.
She found, I murdered my enemies, but, I'm going to heaven.
By scalding them. Very saintly. What is the low bar for becoming a holy person?
Yeah, it's not a tactic in a rampart where you're pouring boiling oil on your enemies. You just decide to do it.
Oh my god, that's amazing. That's amazing. That the take literally found that person and went, see, she's a positive. It's like, wow.
Mm-hmm. Yes, as practice, you have to start out learning to believe the little lies so we can believe the big ones. Yes, justice, mercy, duty, that sort of thing.
Yes.
That is a Terry Pratchett book, I think.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's definitely.
Oh yeah, that's the follow-up to Rock and Roll.
Mm-hmm.
This is the daughter of Maud, I believe. And she's talking to her grandfather deaf.
I'm not sure why. Not sure why did Mateus give us an animated GIF of Wikipedia bouncing by?
Because that Saint Olga thing was from Wikipedia.
All right.
That's all right.
We got so many. I'm gonna keep going. It's taking too long. This is crazy. Whatever this is.
Anyway. Read Terry Pratchett books. They're amazing. They're full of actual wisdom and philosophy, all wrapped in wonderful comedy.
Iron Sky.
Is that
and literary wit.
Is that mentioned about the Sarah Palin in Iron Sky? Is that what we got onto?
That's Sarah Palin in Iron Sky?
Yes, that is on the right, in the red, that is Sarah Palin.
Hooray!
Fair enough. Just hanging out with the Corn Pops and Hawk. Oh wow!
Oh, look at me, my little
actual frames from the movie.
Outcome: destruction of many villages, tens of thousands of people killed and raped, 25,000 killed by 2018, 700,000 refugees fled. Okay.
That's that genocide thing I was talking about.
Yeah,
I've actually got the information.
Wow.
Which country is this?
What a great girl, huh?
Mm-hmm. She's in prison for 20 years, right?
Oh,
now.
that's the Myanmar thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
She won the Nobel Peace Prize as well. It's weird,
beautiful.
That, isn't it?
Oh, it's like Obama.
Every single leader who wins a Nobel Peace Prize turns into a genocidal maniac.
There it is. That's the one from Myanmar.
Yeah, Myanmar. I think it is now.
Aung San Suu Kyi, whose party had won the November 2020 Myanmar general election, was arrested on the 1st of February 2021 following a coup. Returned the Tatwada, the armed forces, to power and sparked protests across the country. Civil charges were filed against her, and on 6th of December 2021, she was sentenced to 4 years in prison on 2 of them. Later, in January 2022, she was sentenced to an additional 4 years on another set of charges. And in April, she was sentenced to 5 years in prison on corruption charges. Her overall sentence was increased to a total of 20 years. The United Nations, most European countries, and the United States condemned the arrests, trials, and sentences as politically motivated. Really?
Yes, because she literally ordered the genocide of people in their own country, then pretended it never happened and tried to cover it up.
But the rest of the world were like, that was.
Wait, was it anti-communist people that she genocided?
Let me just find out, because they were quite genocide of the Rohingya people. It caused the world's largest refugee camp as well.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, the United States and the United Kingdom referred to it as ethnic cleansing by the government, which she was in charge of, and yet when she was arrested, the United States don't agree with it. Islamophobia, ultranationalism, ethnic cleansing, and religious persecution is the reasoning behind it.
Behind
the
doing it, or
found
behind the US now saying it's not bad? I'm
yeah,
confused.
well, the UN found evidence
now
of
what?
wide-scale killings, executions, gang rapes, and arsons.
Lovely.
So it's like, yay.
Okay, wow, what a girl, huh?
Yeah, and the take thinks she's a great leader.
All right, guys. Well, that was. We can't ever go wrong with the take. It's always a goofy, crazy video.
Yeah, this is so. Aung San Suu Kyi is what you get if feminism takes charge.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that was Sunday. Obviously, it's Monday for Monday people as well. So if you guys have any anime suggestions, I think I'm going to finally release the final gaming list for you guys to vote on. I'm almost done the website entry so that I can start getting everyone's content and making those lists. And then we'll have a whole week of just entering data. And we'll all be doing that probably. So will that be fun? So anyway, keep your eyes peeled for that poll to come out. We did the previous poll. We got a lot of data because those are all the big names that everyone was going to suggest anyway. So that will combine with the larger one we have, and then we'll do the top 25 or top 50. I think we'll put top 25 to start.
Top 25. Jesus.
Yeah. So
dear Lord.
There's so many games. It's a little time, but we'll get through them. We'll finally do it. And of course, suggestions for anime and manga tomorrow. If you have any, we'll definitely take a look. So thank you so much for your time. Have yourself a great evening, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.